Mike is in Montana. Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Good. My wife and I have been in Babysit 3B for about 30 months now, and we are wondering if we're getting a little too long and we should start moving things around or what. We're in an area where we think that we can find a house for 180. That's the sale price. And my take-home pay is such that 25% would make us have a $51,000 down payment. But if we cheated that 25 up to 30%, we would only need 28, which is about what we would have by the summer. So I'm wondering if that's something that is acceptable, or if we should just go take a cold shower or something.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pan back for a second and say, okay, why do we have a ratio on the size of house payment? Not how much can I get away with? Why do we teach you that? Well, we teach you that because if your house payment is too freaking big as a percentage of your income, you can't breathe, you have no margin, and then everything other than the house becomes a crisis because the house is pinching you, and that's what we in our business call house poor. Now, you know all that, right, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so to the extent you go over 25%, you start moving in that direction. But I've had people call here with a house payment that's 50% of their take-home pay. And no kidding, they can't breathe. They've got to sell that house if they can't double their income pretty quick. So if you want to, quote unquote, cheat yourself, because there's no one else in this discussion but you and your wife and your kids, right? You cheat yourself in your future.
Yep.
Up on the 30% side, because you got a little bit of house fever, what's the trade-off? Well, under what circumstances would that be wise or less wise? Okay, if your company is announcing that it's probably going to have layoffs this summer, well, that would be totally stupid then. Okay, if you're in a job where your income's probably going to go up 30% in the next 2 years, then pretty quickly your house payment's going to be 25% of your take-home pay. If you're going to buy this house at 30% of your income and then have the third baby and your wife says she wants to be home and now it's 48% of your take-home pay, well, that's obviously not going to work. So it kind of has to do with future plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how stable is your income? What do you do?
Well, I'm actually switching into a job, and we're switching into tech from being a trucker. So that's paying for school for that is part of why it's taking us, the 30 months and Babysit 3B.
Okay. When will you be making the switch?
That'll be end of next summer, August, September, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And we're basing these numbers on what I'm estimating that to be. My wife is planning on coming home. She's currently working as a nurse. She's planning on coming home when we have our third child in May.
Whoa! Woo, like I've done this before or something. Okay.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
All right. And so, yeah. So, when the smoke clears, you're at 30% in a new career.
Correct. Yep.
And until the smoke clears, you're at better than 30%. Because your trucker plus her income before the third kid comes and before you switch.
No. The 30% will be based on just my income after I switch jobs.
Yeah, that's what I said, when the smoke clears. And
Okay.
she quits.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And she quits.
Yep. So,
But it should be more, it should be less than 30% with both of you working in the meantime, right?
Oh, yeah. It'll be.
Okay.
I don't have those numbers, but yeah.
Yeah, and then what do you think the trajectory is on your income after you get the new job?
The information I have says that it'll go up quite a bit.
Okay. Then you're not going to be at 30% for very long.
Years. Okay.
So what we're looking at here is we want to look at the film strip, not the snapshot.
Okay.
The film strip is your whole life all the way out. Are we strapping ourselves to a house long term? And what you're doing is you're going in and out. Start with you're going to be below, then you're going to be up to 30, and then but 30 is just passing through because then 4 months into the new job you get another raise, right? Or whatever, 8 months in, whatever, that kind of a thing. So you may have 1 year of tight, but it's not. But your plan is not to live a life of being house poor. Then that starts to be more wise than I work for the state. I get a 3% raise every year, and my wife's going to quit in 2 years, and then we're really going to be screwed. No, we're not signing up for that one.
Right. Okay.
You see the difference?
I do see the difference. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So Dave, this makes me nervous.
Okay.
Because maybe it's my years of working with young professionals, but I can't think of a group that overestimates what they're going to be making in 18 months and then make current fiscal decisions based on this imaginary growth that may or may not come. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's what you might be facing, what John's pointing out. If this doesn't go the way you think, you may be faced with your wife keeps working or you have to sell the house.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you had to stay a trucker in 3 years, could you make this house payment?
No.
Yeah, no. Not without going over the road, which is something I would rather sell the
not
house.
with her coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you may end up trading her being home for this house if the career path doesn't work out like your plan.
So you may have to go all in on the career plan, right? Yeah, you got to make this thing work.
Yeah, and or you go, hey, it's just a house.
We gave it a shot.
And it's more important that we move to a smaller house. It's more important that she stays home.
That's right.
And that's more important to us than that particular house.
Yeah.
And you just sell the house. Also, you can refinance the house when interest rates come down. That'll help. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. James starts this hour in Canada. Hi, James. How are you?
I'm doing very well, better than I deserve. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve, sir. What's up?
This is an honor to talk to you. I am such a fan of the show.
Well, I'm honored to talk to you. How can we help?
I just have a quick question. Me and my wife are planning to get out of debt as soon as possible. And I just have a question that's been lingering on my mind. I have some investments, about $5,000 Canadian, in some ETFs. And I'm just wondering if I should sell my investments to pay off debt.
Okay. What kind of debt have you got?
I have a line of credit that's about $19,000.
Mm-hmm.
We also have some credit card debt and a car loan as well.
How much do you owe? How much do you owe on your credit cards?
My credit card itself is about $13,000.
Okay. So there's an old rule that I've learned. I've twisted it around a little bit and used the rule because it's a decision-making framework that's helped me a bunch. It comes from the Harvard Investment Newsletter. And the guy in there says when you've made an investment, and let's say you bought a stock at $100 a share, and it went down to $75 a share. Okay, and so you're about to lose. You're going to lose money if you sell it while it's down. But you really don't think it's ever going to come up. It's a crummy company. It's probably going to go on down. But you're waiting on it to at least come back to what you paid for it. His point is what you paid for it doesn't matter. All that matters is the future of the stock. From $75, what's it going to do? Go up or down? And what he says is don't analyze it based on what you paid for it. That's called a sunk cost analysis. Now, that's an investment process. Okay. Now, I flip that and I use it in situations like yours or other situations like I'm in as well. Sometimes if you own something and you reverse engineer it, it tells you what you should do instantly. Let me give it to you in this way. Let's pretend you didn't have $13,000 in credit card debt, but you had $8,000 in credit card debt. And you did not have a $5,000 ETF. Would you go borrow an additional $5,000 on your credit cards to invest into an ETF? Well, crud, no. No. I mean, we can answer that instantly, can't we? That sounds stupid when you say it that way, doesn't it? But all that is the reverse of your question. So if you would not borrow $5,000 more on your credit cards in order to buy an ETF, we would instantly cash out the ETF to pay $5,000 down on the credit cards because it's the same difference, just backwards.
Yeah, that's, you know what, when you say it like that, it's very obvious. It's
kind of like sometimes we get paralyzed by these decision makings because we're stuck in the moment rather than in the reverse. You can do it with a boat. If you got a boat sitting in the driveway that's worth $10,000, you go, if I had $10,000 in the middle of my kitchen table, would I go buy a boat just like that if I didn't have that boat? Well, crud, no, we hadn't used the thing in 5 years. I'm tired of it. Takes up space. I'm paying insurance on it. It's going down in value. Or we use it every weekend. The kids love that boat. Of course I would go buy that boat if I had $10,000 and I didn't have that boat. Well, then you keep the boat then. But if you go, well, no, I would never buy that boat again, then it's way past time to sell that boat, right? You just reverse engineer it, and it tells you what to do in these situations. Ken does it with a job, don't you? I mean, you could go in and go, I hate my job. Well, if you didn't have this job today, would you take this job? Lord, no. Then why are you still working there?
It's true. Yeah. People say, should I stay or should I go? And I said, well,
just the fact that you're answering the question.
Yeah, we need to go. Yeah, you wouldn't stay if I had a job waiting for you today. So that's absolutely right. It's a great analogy.
Yeah. So that's how I'm going to tell you. But more importantly is the why, or how the process we use to make the decision. James, it tells us instantly with a little bit of reverse engineering. Now, that's why we tell people not to take money out of a retirement plan, because there's a big penalty and a big tax in order to put the money into your credit card. It's going to hit you in the States, it would hit you about 40% between penalties and taxes. So that's like saying, Dave, would I borrow money at 40% interest to pay down on my debt? Well, crap, no, that's dumb. We're not doing that. And so that's why we tell you not to cash out retirement, but yes to cash out the ETF.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And in this case, huge momentum coming out of this decision as well,
I think, Ken, the great resignation that we just came through after the Fauci pandemic, everybody quit their jobs because they wanted to have a better life, was caused a little bit by that.
Yep.
But even the great regret by people wishing they didn't quit their jobs is also caused by that, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's all this. It was more emotion-driven, impulse-driven than it was thinking, okay, I don't want to live this way.
That's exactly right. Well, we're trying to get the quick fix. And the quick fix was, I'm going to leave a company where I'm valued, and I actually enjoy the work, and I'm going to go over here for a 15% raise. Then they got there, and it wasn't what they thought, and the raise wore off. The high. There's a decision like, I make a decision and I get ahead quick. You feel like you've gamed the system. Then they're there for 3 months. This place sucks, and that's what you call the great regret. And by the way, what Dave's talking about, folks, is we're talking about millions of workers. Millions who said, I wish I had stayed at my previous company. This is not like a little trend. This was a major wave of people. And again, we were trying to game the system and get the quick fix. And you realize, I would have been better off staying where I am. I'd be happier, more fulfilled. And that affects my anxiety, depression, which affects my sleep, my physical life, my relationship life with my wife, my kids. If I'm dragging all that crap from work home with me, and I didn't get that much of a behavior change, and to this point, if you took a 15% raise to try to pay off credit card debt or to pay off, I can live more, and you just kept spending. And by the way, Dave, that's what we've seen right now in our economy. We just got the latest reports out. The GDP's up because the consumers in America are spending like Congress. And credit card debt is going up with it. And we've got to take control of our spending, take control of our habits, and getting out of debt, back to this call, and not just chasing the next big thing. It's the discipline to say, I'm going to change my life, change the way I act, and those are going to guide my decisions, not the next big, quick fix to feel like I just gamed the system. You got to change who you are.
More money to get in a worse place wears off in about 20 minutes.
Really fast.
Yeah, you get a career hangover from that one.
Yeah, and then you try to drown it out with credit card debt.
Ouch.
It's funny how
Not
that
James,
works.
though. James is going to pay down his credit
James
card
is a good
debt
man.
with an ETF. As we've been doing this millionaire research, one of the pieces of data that we've discovered is by studying 10,000 millionaires, that the average millionaire drives a 4-year-old car with 41,000 miles on it, and of course it's paid for, and they haven't had car payments in decades, which is how they became a millionaire, because the average car payment now is over $500, about $504 a month over 84 months. If you invest $504 from age 30 to age 70, you'll have somewhere around $5 million in your Roth IRA. I hope you like your car. Our advice, knowing that cars lose 60 to 70% of their value in the first 4 years, is to buy a quality used car unless you have a net worth in excess of $1 million. Then if you want to buy a new car, you can afford to take the loss on it. But the worst car accidents do happen on the showroom floor. Well, Dave, I'm always worried about buying a used car. Well, what are you driving? If you're driving a car that you bought 2 months ago, it's now a used car. If you're driving a car you bought 5 years ago, it's a used car. What are you driving? Listen, the vehicle quality is so high now that we get through 300,000 miles out of a car. Most of these cars run and run and run and run and run if you have to take care of them. So, don't buy a new car unless you've got a net worth in excess of $1 million. Now, how do you negotiate the best deal on a car? Well, the same way you do a lot of things. There's a couple of keys to negotiating. One is he with the most knowledge wins. So study. Learn about that car. Go on Trader.com. Go on Kelley Blue Book and Edmunds.com and look up stuff about the car. Google the car. Read articles about the car. Look at different versions of the car, different packages that are on the car. The luxury package, the standard package, the 2-door, the 4-door, the different engines that are in that particular car. Learn all about a Honda Civic if you're going to buy a Honda Civic. Learn. People impulse a big purchase like a car. That makes you stupid. You don't impulse that. You study that. And then pay cash, of course. Now, most of the time paying cash means that you are doing a bank transfer. But sometimes you can walk in with the cash and just lay it on the table. It's not that much money. I mean, $7,000, $10,000, $15,000, whatever. It kind of blows a dealer's mind, but certainly if you're buying from an individual, when you put cash on the table, it says we have a deal. It doesn't say, oh, I need to check with my banker. You ever sold a car on Craigslist? I need to check with my banker, and then you never hear from them again. I'll take it, but my banker will do it, and never hear from them again. But when you lay cash on the table, there's no, I need to check with my banker in there. It's a done deal, baby. It's locked in, right? And listen, don't get married to one car. Be prepared to walk away. Listen, when you bought something emotionally, even the most inept seller recognizes the body language changes. I mean, you guys know when somebody's bought something, right? Even though they haven't done the deal. The negotiation's over once they know you're married. I'm married. I have to have this car. So just be quiet. Let them talk, the seller, that is. Tell them, you've looked this car up, you've studied a lot, this seems a little high. And then be quiet. Let them talk. You can negotiate online. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You can have the car inspected. And a good thing to do, too, is check with one of our endorsed local providers on the insurance side and find out what it costs to insure that car. You might be looking at one $7,000 car that's almost twice as much to insure as another $7,000 car. So you can get a quote from one of them, or on your existing cars, jump in there and get a quote from the ELP. Most people that get a quote from our ELPs because they're brokers, they shop among a bunch of different people and they get the best possible deal. They save like $700. That's the average. So, and 1 in 3 drivers, 33% of you buy your insurance and you don't shop your insurance before you buy it. That's just dumb. It's an expensive thing, just like not shopping the car before you buy it. That's dumb. Don't do that. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you are here. Lindsay is with us in Phoenix. Hi, Lindsay. Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you, Dave.
How can I help today?
So my husband just completed his orthopedic surgery residency in July.
Wow.
We were fortunate enough to graduate with minimal debt because the United States Air Force paid for him to go through school.
Wonderful.
Which is a blessing.
Wonderful.
So right now, he is an orthopedic surgeon for the Air Force, but he has the opportunity to moonlight evenings and weekends. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we're finding out is contract negotiation is overwhelming. My husband knows a lot about how to do a total joint, but very little about how to negotiate, whether to use an organization like locum tenens, which obviously takes a fee, or to go in one-on-one. And we were just wondering if you had any tips or big red flags to look out for as you're entering into a negotiation.
There's 2 or 3 rules when you're negotiating, and if you'll remember those, you'll be okay.
Okay.
Number 1, he with the most information wins.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you don't know anything about it means you need to learn something about it, meaning I need to learn what a lot of different people are paid, how they're paid a lot of different ways, how these contracts are structured a lot of different ways. You need to learn a lot about it, and you need to do that whether you're using an outside firm to help you or not.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hand that off. You're responsible for your life, and so you're going to have to know. You wouldn't want to go to work for somebody making $100,000 when everybody else is paying $200,000 because you didn't know what was going on. And that's just knowledge. Yeah. Just knowledge. Knowledge is number 1. Information is number 1. Number 2, he with the most patience wins. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not desperate. I'm not in a hurry. We're going to get this right. And there's an old story of when America pulled out of Vietnam, and we were, prior to pulling out of Vietnam, we were negotiating with the North Vietnamese. And when we went to Europe to do the negotiating, the American negotiating team rented a hotel, and the North Vietnamese team bought 3 condominiums. And look who won the negotiation. I think we can settle that. So, you need to have a long-term game plan. It's not, you don't want to drag your feet, but you're just not in a hurry. And then the third thing is options. He with the most options always wins a negotiation. If you only have 2 suitors and both of them are ugly, you're getting ready to get married to an ugly person. You don't have enough options, right? So you need more than 2 suitors. And so you can be amazed the number of times if you listen to this radio show, people call me up with 2 possible things they can do in their situation, and both of them suck. Mm-hmm. And that's the only 2 options they've got. Anytime you're making any kind of decisions, including negotiations, he with the most options has power. So have more options, meaning, and that they kind of all work together. See, the more options you have, the more patience you'll have. The more patience you have, the more knowledge you'll have. The more knowledge you have, it gives you options, right? And so, they kind of all 3 work together. They're somewhat overlapping concentric circles or a Venn diagram type circles. But the sweet spot is in the middle of the overlap of those 3. When you have patience, options, and knowledge, you're going to win the negotiation because it just gives you confidence. I mean, when you got options, you've got walkaway power. And you got to have walkaway power in any negotiation. But when you feel like you're trapped and you can't walk away, your body language changes, your vocal cords tighten up, your voice goes up an octave, your pulse rate changes, your eyes dilate. All the signs are there. You ever been negotiating to sell somebody something and you can tell they already bought it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. They lost the negotiation because they lost their walkaway power because they thought it was the only car on the planet. It's the only house on the planet. If I don't get this house, I'm going to die. Oh, yeah, right. There's only one house. Right. Give me a break. I've driven past 10 of them on the way down here. I mean, really, it's, so there's always another house. So you got to have options, and that gives you walkaway power, which gives you patience and the ability to learn and take your time. And so if you do a deal, without all of those things, make sure it's a really short deal, like a 3-month trial. Meanwhile, you really dig in and learn about all those other things. And so I'm going to learn all the hospitals I could work for, all the doctors I could work for, all the scenarios I could work for them, all the different pay scales. Is it a per operation? Is it a per hour? Is it a when I'm on call? What's the total look like? How's the contract structured? What kind of options do they want forward going on the contract? I'm going to learn about the business structure of this. And the good news is there's not that much to it. It's just like taking a job. Which job is better, right? If you only got 2 possible jobs to pick, you're going to get an ugly job most of the time. But if you've narrowed it down from 10 to the 2 best ones, now you're getting ready to pick the best thing out there. And that's how I look for it. And by the way, it doesn't have to be a win-lose negotiation. Negotiations that are done properly usually are win-win. And so I've got a car I want to sell. You want to buy a car. If you buy my car, I sold my car, you bought a car. We both won. And so it's win-win. I don't have to destroy you in the negotiation. I don't have to lie to you, cheat you in the negotiation. You need a car. I need to sell a car. I've got a car. You don't have a car. This is a marriage made in heaven. It's a win-win negotiation. But people oftentimes look at negotiations as a win-lose. If I win, you have to lose. If you lose is the only way I can win. And that's a very immature view of negotiating. And then you view negotiating as conflict. And it's not conflict. It's they need a doctor. Your husband's a doctor. They need somebody to come over there and help those people that are hurting. And your husband has the ability to do that. Your husband needs some money. They got some money. They're going to give him some of their money to help those people who need help. I think this is a triple win. The customer is going to get help. They're going to get a good guy who served his country in the Air Force, come over there and help him, and went to med school doing that. I love this guy already, and I just think it's a wonderful situation. So it doesn't have to be lose-lose. If you need to get out of debt, I can sell you a $10 book. I made $10, and you get to change your whole life. I think that's a win-win. Oh, and by the way, when you get out of debt, you're going to be more generous to other people and help your church and help the community. And you're going to be a better husband, a better wife when you're not stressed out. I think everybody's winning here. And all of that for $10. So I have no qualms about selling you a $10 book because it's a really good deal for you. It's a really good deal for me because I've sold 15 million of them. So it's worked out for me, So, but we help 15 million people in the process. That's a win-win thing. See, that's the way capitalism's supposed to be. And if you view it that way, then you don't get all tensed up and try to quote make the sale, and you're not in some kind of confrontational, street fighter negotiation mentality. Where you get like that, where you get upset in a negotiation, is when you feel trapped, and that's when you don't have options, patience, and information. By the way, the best win-win deals come from the people who, when both sides of the table have really good information. If everybody's got lots of information, you will naturally craft a deal that causes everybody to get stuff out of the deal that's positive, instead of one wins and one loses. By definition, one doesn't have to win and one lose, because there's more to it than the simple financial transaction. There's a lot more to it than that. That's just part of the negotiation, part of the equation. There's more to it when I sell you a book than a transaction of $10 for my book. There's a whole lot more to it than that. If that's all it was, that I'm $10 richer and you're $10 poorer, I won. And you got a book. If that's all it was, but that's not all it is. There's more to it than that. It's the information in the book that's valuable, not the book. It's the information in the Financial Peace University course that's valuable, not the course. Going to a course doesn't mean anything. Did you change your life? I used to tell people all the time back in the day, we used to charge $569 to go through Financial Peace University. Now it's $129 and shipping's free, right? It's unbelievable how far it's come down. And I used to tell them, if you went through this course with no books, no envelope system, no nothing, with a yellow pad, the information is worth $10,000. You should pay me that. But I'm not going to charge you that. It's only $569. Now it's only $129 and shipping's free. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Dennis starts off this hour in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Dennis. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, good, thanks, and thanks for taking my call.
Certainly, sir. How can I help?
Okay, here's the deal. My wife and I just bought a house, and we're able to put 60% down because we just sold our other house.
Phenomenal.
So, along with that, we picked up a mortgage. So, I want to slam the mortgage. So I'm thinking we got a 30-year just to get on the boards. I'm thinking going to a 15-year real soon. And I'm also provided we can handle that. We think we can. Provided we can do that, I'm also thinking about we got 14 or 15 in mutual funds, and I'm thinking about taking that out as well and throwing that on the mortgage as well to really get this thing down.
How much do you owe?
Go ahead.
How much do you owe?
132.
Okay. And what is your interest rate?
3.5 3.6, 3.685.
And you just got it?
We just got it. Yeah.
Really interesting. It's a little high. Okay.
Well, I thought so, but we wanted to just get this thing, done and get in the house and then start.
Is it a traditional mortgage?
It is, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And your household income, sir?
I'm retired. I think we're at about 60.
Okay. You have any money other than the $14,000?
No.
Okay. All right. You don't have an emergency? You have an emergency
Social Security is coming in.
Okay. Do you have an emergency fund of any kind?
Yeah. We've got about 20 set aside.
Okay. All right. In a separate account, different than the 14.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm with your plan. I would throw the 14 at it, which gets us, down in the 118 or something like that. We got left then. And you can put that on a 15-year. Normally, the only reason to refinance is not to go from a 30 to a 15. I wouldn't go to the refinance cost to do that. But in order to save on interest, you would refinance. And I think you could probably save 3/4 of a point. I mean, I'm seeing quotes. I don't know if you can get on a mortgage this small or not, but I'm seeing quotes well down under 3. And so if you got something like 2.875 or 275 or something like that along those lines, that might be worth refinancing. And then while you're at it, put it on a 15-year. And then, of course, you just chunk money at it as fast and as hard as you can, like you're saying. And then how do we make that go away? Well, you make it go away pretty quick that way. You'll probably be done in 5 or 6 years.
Now we're talking the same language. Yeah. Okay.
And you just kind of start dividing it. You just say we're dealing with 120,000, and if we wanted to do that in 10 years, that'd be 10,000 extra a year. And if we wanted to do it in 5 years, that means it'd be 20,000 extra a year.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. You're probably going to be done.
Okay. Can I make one statement?
Sure.
One last statement. I know my daughter's listening to this right now, and she'll squeeze blood out of a rock as far as her budget goes.
Mm-hmm.
Want to tell her that Mom and Dad are going to take care of her car payment from here on. We're going to wipe out her debt.
Oh, wow.
And going to use this opportunity to do that. She's not expecting this, but I thought I'd wanted to do this. But okay, Dave, thanks very much.
Well, that's fun.
Your time.
That's the first time anybody's ever announced that on our show. That's very cool. Well done, sir. Dennis starts off this hour in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Dennis. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, good, thanks. And thanks for taking my call.
Certainly, sir. How can I help?
Okay, here's the deal. My wife and I just bought a house, and we're able to put 60% down because we just sold our other house.
Phenomenal.
So along with that, we picked up a mortgage. So I want to slam the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking we got a 30-year just to get on the boards. I'm thinking going to a 15-year real soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also provided we can handle that. We think we can. Provided we can do that, I'm also thinking about we got 14 or 15 in mutual funds, and I'm thinking about taking that out as well and throwing that on the mortgage as well to really get this thing down.
How much do you owe?
Go ahead.
How much do you owe?
132.
Okay. And what is your interest rate?
3.6. 3.685.
And you just got it?
We just got it, yeah.
Really? Interesting. It's a little high. Okay.
Well, I thought so, but we wanted to just get this thing, done and get in the house and then start.
Is it a traditional mortgage?
It is, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And your household income, sir?
I'm retired. I think we're at about 60.
Okay. You have any money other than the $14,000?
No.
Okay. All right. You don't have an emergency? You have an emergency
Social Security is coming in.
Okay. Do you have an emergency fund of any kind?
Yeah. We've got about 20 set aside.
Okay. All right. In a separate account, different than the 14?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm with your plan. I would throw the 14 at it, which gets us, down in the 118 or something like that we got left then. And you can put that on a 15-year. Normally, the only reason to refinance is not to go from a 30 to a 15. I wouldn't go to the refinance cost to do that. But in order to save on interest, you would refinance. And I think you could probably save 3/4 of a point. I mean, I'm seeing quotes. I don't know if you can get on a mortgage this small or not, but I'm seeing quotes well down under 3. And so if you got something like 2.875 or 275 or something like that along those lines, that might be worth refinancing. And then while you're at it, put it on a 15-year. And then, of course, you just chunk money at it as fast and as hard as you can, like you're saying. And then how do we make that go away? Well, you make it go away pretty quick that way. You'll probably be done in 5 or 6 years.
Now we're talking the same language. Yeah. Okay.
And you just kind of start dividing it. You just say we're dealing with 120,000, and if we wanted to do that in 10 years, that'd be 10,000 extra a year. And if we wanted to do it in 5 years, that means it'd be 20,000 extra a year.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. You're probably going to be done.
Okay. Can I make one statement?
Sure.
One last statement. I know my daughter's listening to this right now, and she'll squeeze blood out of a rock as far as her budget goes.
Mm-hmm.
Want to tell her that Mom and Dad are going to take care of her car payment from here on. We're going to wipe out her debt.
Oh, wow.
And going to use this opportunity to do that. She's not expecting this, but I thought I'd wanted to do this. But okay, Dave, thanks very much.
Well, that's fun.
Time.
That's the first time anybody's ever announced that on our show. That's very cool. Well done, sir.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
You can do this. That really is the message. Whether you've got $270,000 in student loan debt or $27,000, whether you've got a $50,000 income or a $500,000 income. So, John, you and I were actually talking earlier this morning in a meeting, discussing things around your new book coming out, that with all the wackiness happening in the world, that, your book and some of the materials that you're putting out are all about dealing with your past. Own Your Past, Change Your Future is the title of the new book. But this idea that things that have happened to me as an individual, or to you guys out there as an individual, the trauma that you experienced during COVID, or the trauma you experienced from family, or the trauma you experienced from a job, or whatever trauma, wherever it was, that's kind of like one set of anxiety-inducing things. You call them bricks in the backpack, right? And then there's a whole other set of anxiety-inducing things, and both of these affect money, they affect job, they affect marriage, because it affects mental health, basically. But the anxiety-inducing trauma-type things are, stuff like Russia and Ukraine, stuff like out-of-control inflation. Used cars are going up,
right?
Which makes me think I'm in a cartoon or something. Instead of real life, this must be a Pixar movie. How do used cars go up? It's impossible. And, supply chain stuff is just bizarre. Just trying to get something purchased and get it shipped to you.
Yep.
Is crazy. So people are experiencing, environmental type things that are impacting us. The negative news, we'll just call it. And then you got things that are individual to you in your life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
2 different buckets.
Yeah.
How do you deal with those different buckets?
I was on an interview yesterday and talking about this exact thing, and what I told the guy was, man, I tell people for a living to get off your devices. That's one of my cornerstone messages. Get off your devices and be with real people. And I found myself yesterday, I got up at 5 a.m. to go exercise and do my morning routine like I always do. And the first thing I did was pulled out my phone to see if Putin had invaded. And instead of looking at it and seeing there's tension and closing it and going about my day, I sat there and went to this news site and this news site, this news site.
So Alice went down a rabbit hole, huh?
Yes, and I missed my workout. I missed everything. I grabbed coffee, and I was able to high-five my kids, and I head out the door. Instead of And here's the thing. You know what I can control about what Putin's doing? Zero. Nothing. There's not a thing I can do about that. But
Apparently no one else can either, by the way.
There you go. What I could do was I could have got my exercise in. I could have made my wife's coffee and brought it to her because I know that little tiny acts of service when I'm stressed out helps calm me down. I could have written a note to my kids and said, hey, I got an early morning of media hits. I love you guys. I miss you. I could have done some things that I know bring me peace and bring my anxiety level down instead of fed it. And so what I tell everybody to do is look at the things in your life you can control and lean in on those and literally use the off button on some of these things. You can check on Russia once or twice a day, and that's it. Nothing else is going to change. And if it does, there's nothing you can do about it, right? Yeah. Or the inflation, or get your house in order.
Unless you're on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, you don't need to be riding it all day long.
You can't ride it all day long. And here's the thing.
Because it'll ride you.
It will bury you. It will bury you. My heart rate is up as though America's getting shelled right now. And we're not, right? We're not. And so, man, take care of the people in your area. Take care of you. And I'm not saying stick your head in the sand and avoid it. No, this is a worldwide issue. We all need to be in the know on this. But get in the know and then get back out. Don't go swimming and bathing in the cesspool, right? Get what you need and then get out of there, man. And then deal with your people in your life.
Yeah, the problem is inputs matter.
And
if all you do is feed, and that includes who you hang around with,
Absolutely.
It includes what you read, it includes your screen
what
time,
you watch, yeah.
It includes if you're doing social media or you're not doing social media, it includes podcasts.
You get off work and you listen to a murder podcast on the way home just so you can get to Law and Order SVU, right?
Yeah.
For dinner, like you're just feeding yourself this stuff.
Yeah, inputs matter because if all your inputs are crap, your brain's crap.
Your brain is terrified all day. It's fight or flight all day. And then a real thing shows up like inflation. Like you go to the grocery store and you look at your budget and say, oh, I got to make some choices on meat or vegetables this month. That's a real thing that you need. You need space and capacity in your mind and body to be able to handle those issues that is taken up by other fake drama, right? It's just going and going and going and going and going.
So you do really need to identify causes of stress and put them in one of two buckets. Things I can do something about, things I can't.
That's right.
Things I can't, you need to limit the inputs.
Absolutely. All day, every day. Just stop.
I had a friend watching CNN, watching Fox all day long. I think he's in a rubber room now.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's your only input is a 24-hour news cycle all day long, 100% of it is hyped, exaggerated, and bad.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I mean, it's just like, I'm going to eat chocolate bars all day long, 24/7, and then think that's going to work out from a nutrition standpoint. Right. I mean, or whatever negative thing you can come up with to eat, but I mean, that would gag you if you got past 4 of them, Right. But it just, your mind is gagging.
That's right. And it's important to know, we all should be a little bit heightened right now. We should all be anxious right now. This is a big deal, right? And I'm anxious to see what my government's going to do to participate or not participate, and what my leadership's going to look like. All that's true and real and good. Prices are real. The gas, I can't even, I have to double take when you drive by a gas station, right? All that stuff's real. And then what can I do about that? I can't fix the gas prices today. And so I'm going to see it, and I'm going to go, man, that stinks. I'm going to have to make some adjustments in my budget with my wife. And then I'm going to go about my day, because doubling down on that, man, it's going to make me a ball of rage that's going to affect my kids, my wife, my family, my neighborhood, and my work.
You got to control the controllables.
And set the rest of the crap down.
You can't control the things that aren't controllable.
That's right. That's right.
That's why they're not called controllables. That's right. I mean, this is not hard.
Yeah.
And yet we have gotten into this between social media, 24-hour news cycle. I mean, it used to be, Walter Cronkite for 30 minutes in the evening, your local news for 30 minutes in the evening, and you had a newspaper. Some of you don't know what that is. You could look it up on the internet. But and that was, you were stuck with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was hours and hours and hours behind.
But then you had to go sit down with real humans, and you got
dinner.
You got the pontification circles. Well, I think this. Well, I think this. You're engaging with real people, and a real human would say, I think that's dumb. I think this, and I think that. And you had real interactions, and your body actually goes, okay, we're safe. I got a real person right here. I got a real person right here. We're exchanging ideas, and now it's just grenade.
Digital grenades.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Which are about as bad as digital courage.
Yeah. Man.
Wow.
Scary times, man. Scary times, but
you have to control the situation. You have to control your environment. It's you're not going to get out of this otherwise. Thanks for joining us. Caitlin is with us in Tampa. Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
I am really, really good. I'm so happy to talk to you.
You too. How can I help?
I'm a little bit overwhelmed because I was told by my coworker about you, and the more I was watching your videos, the more I realized how out of control me and my husband were with our money, and I don't know where to start. Like, I've already made a budget, and I think I made a good budget, and I talked to my husband. We're on the same page that we want to be debt-free and have a house. But there's so many things that, according to the different videos I've watched yours, that I also noticed that we don't have done, like a good nest egg, or we don't have an investment. I don't have a 401k.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
And our savings is only like $2,500.
Okay, cool. What's your household income?
I think the total is like around $100,000.
Wow, that's great. How old are you guys?
I'm 27. He's 29.
Perfect. And how much debt do you have, not counting your house?
Oh, I don't have a house. $23,000 for the student loan and car total, and a few thousand in medical. I think like around $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like $1,000 something for our phone.
Okay. All right. Well, what we teach folks to do is, like you said, to do a budget. We have a budget system out that's free to use called Every Dollar. You can download it for you can download it for your iPhone or your Android at everydollar.com, or on in the App Store, whatever you want to do. And it'll help you build your budget in about 10 minutes. You and your husband look that over. When you do a written budget, usually you feel like you got a raise because you're like, where is all this money going? You're going to discover that you're wasting money. You're going to discover that money's going to disorganization and so on. And when you do that, then we find money in the budget. What are our first goals? We have a process we teach called the baby steps, and that's the first thing to do, the second thing to do, the third thing to do, one baby step at a time. Your first baby step is to save $1,000. Well, you've already done that. Check. You're at $2,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then baby step 2 is take everything above $1,000 in any non-retirement savings or investments, and we're going to throw it at your debt, and we're going to throw anything else we can find in the budget towards your debt, listing your debts smallest to largest, payoff balance, and paying minimum payments on everything but the little one, attacking the little one with a vengeance. When it is paid off, you go to the next one. When that one's paid off, you go to the next one. When that one's paid off, you go to the next one. It sounds to me like you've got about $30,000 worth of debt with a $100,000 income. You should be debt-free in a touch over a year. That's $2,500 a month.
And does that mean that after that, then I save for the house, or do I save for the retirement, or
after that you go to baby step 3, which is a fully funded emergency fund. We raise that $1,000 up to a proper rainy day fund, which is 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then, after 3 is where people start saving for houses. We always call saving for a house baby step 3B, because 4 is 15% of your income going into retirement. So sometimes, after you get your emergency fund in place, before you start saving for retirement, some people will pause right there for a year and save up a good down payment on your house. And that's what we call baby step 3B. And Caitlin, the book that outlines all of this, that on the bestseller list for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of weeks, is called The Total Money Makeover. And I'll send you a copy of it free. You hold on, and you and your husband go through that book together, get on Every Dollar, and get your budget going, and we'll show you exactly what to do step by step, the baby steps on steroids. That's what the Total Money Makeover basically is. It's exactly what to do and why to do it, in what order, and it'll show, there's no question. The only question is whether you're going to do it. If you do it, it'll work 100% of the time. Patrick's with us in Denver. Hi, Patrick. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, I got a quick question for you for retirement and investment. I'm 51 years old. I'm debt-free except for my home. I owe about $65,000 on my home. I have about $20,000 in individual stocks. I have an emergency fund of $15,000, and I have about $10,000 in savings. My monthly income is $9,000 a month take home, and I would like to have my house paid off in January to February and start off 2017 great. Once I do all of that and I'm completely debt-free, I need to make up some time. I've got about 15 to 17 years to retirement, and like the numbers I stated, I have very little saved for retirement, but like you say, I have a huge shovel. I've done real estate in the past before, but I got hurt in the 2008, 2009, but I did enjoy it, and it's something that I'm not afraid to do. What percentage of investing in mutual funds and in real estate would you do to make up the ground that I need to make up in the 15 to 17 years?
Are you married?
No.
Okay. Well, first thing I'm going to do is follow through on your plan here, which means I'm cashing out the stock and the extra $10,000, throwing $30,000 at your mortgage today, leaving you only a $35,000 balance, which you knock out by the end of the year. That sounded like your plan, was it?
Yes, I would go into possibly even my emergency fund a little bit, and then I have a consistent income of about $9,000 a month.
So now you and I are sitting in January or so with a paid-for house and a fully funded emergency fund, and we start talking about a retirement mix with a guy who loves real estate like I do. Well, at a minimum, I'm going to have you do your full $6,500. Because you're over 50, you can do $6,500 into your Roth IRA. To start with, we do that. Do you have 401k available?
Just through myself. I'm self-employed, 1099. I would be able to do a set.
Okay, all right. I would definitely do a Roth IRA, and I would start thinking about a SEP. Here's the interesting thing about the SEP. You can load that thing full, and when it gets enough in it, you could set up a self-directed SEP that allowed you to buy real estate with cash inside of that.
Ooh.
So I'd load them both up, because you got to save up the money to pay cash for the real estate if you're listening to me, because we already got your house paid for. We're not going to turn around and go in debt to buy rental properties. You've already been on that train. You didn't like that ride. So,
no.
But now the trick is this, let's say we build up some money and you buy a $100,000 house inside your SEP, a self-directed SEP. You can do that. However, the entire SEP or the entire rental property has to be operated as a part of your retirement plan, meaning you don't make any of the money off the rent. It goes back into the SEP.
Okay.
The rent goes back into the SEP. The SEP pays the expenses for operating the rental, and the net profits on the rental property stay in the SEP until you're 59 and a half. But you're coming up on that. You're coming up on that pretty quick anyway. So then you could pull it out of there if you wanted to, and do all the. But as long as you roll the stuff over inside the SEP, there's no taxes on it. And if you do a Roth SEP, there'll never be any taxes on your gains.
No way.
Yeah, way. This is very cool.
Wow.
This will completely work.
Oh.
But now here's the problem. Okay, we're betting real heavy on real estate, and so far you hadn't done good at that.
Correct.
So just be careful, my brother. I don't want you to end up one of those broke people playing with real estate, right? So we're paying cash for it. You take your time. When you're buying real estate, the money's made at the buy. It's not made at the sale. You steal it or you don't buy it. That's the rule.
Okay.
You buy real estate cheap. That's where your money's made. You take your time. And you are a sweet person, so you are a kind vulture. You are circling and waiting for something to die, and you get a great buy, which right today in most market's hot. It's hard to find a great buy out there today. 3 or 4 years ago, I was buying everything in sight. I ran out of cash because I was just buying real estate as hard as I could buy. Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
So you have to break the cycle. You have to flip this thing on its head and make it behave. You've got to get so fired up and wired up that your broke friends think you've lost your mind. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
All right, so here's the story. A year and a half ago, I got divorced and I remarried, and my husband now and I are trying to get situated and basically rebuild our lives and get our finances all in order. And right now, we can put it down on paper and like create a budget and stick to it, but it still seems somehow that we're overdrafting our accounts at least twice a month.
You wrote out a budget that causes you to overdraft? If you're sticking to your plan was to overdraft?
It wasn't my plan to overdraft, but
then you're not sticking to your plan.
I think we might have our budget off.
I think you're not sticking to your plan.
Yeah, who's not sticking to their plan?
Unless you wrote out a plan that says, I want to overdraft intentionally, you are obviously not executing the plan. Is that fair?
Fair, yes.
Okay. So you're not sticking to the plan. Why not?
Things like pop up that we weren't aware of and things like that. And I think that's where we're getting...
Like what? Pizza?
No, honestly, we go out to eat once a week.
Okay. Like what? What popped up?
Well, I had to get a lawyer to end up getting custody of my children from my ex.
When did that pop up?
That just popped up recently within the past couple of months.
Okay, and how much was that?
$3,000.
Okay. All right. What else has popped up?
I don't think we're paying attention to exactly like all the subscriptions that we have and things like that.
That's not a pop-up. That's that's an intentional exclusion.
Okay.
So your budget's not thorough. Okay, let's back up. You're not doing as badly as you think you are. Okay?
Okay.
And I'm not going to beat you up like you're a complete failure because you're not. Here's what normally happens when you start doing a budget. It takes 90 days for it to work. The first month, you suck at this because you've never done it. The first time you drove your car around the block, you weren't good at it. Okay? But now you drive a car without thinking, put on your makeup, eat a Big Mac, and change lanes. Right?
Yep.
Okay, that's what you'll get to later. But right now, you're brand new at this. And one of the things that happens when you're brand new in your first month of budgeting is you leave things out that you shouldn't have left out. You just didn't know. You forgot about them. Okay? Kids' activities at school. We didn't budget for it because we forgot they do that. Well, of course they do that. But when it comes up, it's kind of obvious. But when we were sitting down on a piece of paper or sitting down with the $Every app, we didn't think of it. Okay? Lawyer's a different category. But subscriptions, I forgot about them. And then when I did my budget the first month and I looked down, it robbed the money out of my food budget. And so now I'm crashing over here. And well, you won't forget about them the next month. You're either going to cancel them or put them in the budget, right?
Yep.
Kids' activities, we're either going to not let them go or we're going to put them in the budget, right?
Yes.
What's another one? But some of these things, you have fewer and fewer surprises the longer you do this because you get better at it, and all the other surprises are now in the budget.
Okay.
After 90 days. So after 90 days, you'll be a budgeting pro. It takes 3 months. First month is really bad. Second month is a little better. And the last month, you've got it dialed in. Now, lawyer stuff, that is a legitimate, that's like the transmission falling out of your car. That is an emergency you couldn't see coming, and you don't have any money, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so that's a different thing. And that's not really a surprise because we knew the X was a jerk. That's why he's called the X. But overall, the lawyer bill is a surprise.
Yes.
Okay. So there's some things like that. But okay, let me give you an example. A car breaking down is not a surprise. A $200 alternator going out on the car. A $400 alternator going out on the car. It's not a surprise. It absolutely is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. The only thing that's a surprise is the timing. We know the tires on your car are going to wear out. We know Christmas is in December. They don't move it. It's not a surprise. But it still sneaks up on people. So that's the kind of stuff. I think okay, number one, recommit to beans and rice and beans, no eating out, no going out to eat, no vacations. We're going to put a bunch of stuff on Craigslist and sell it, try to create some money. We may look at some extra income from doing some kind of side job, and we're going to be really, 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 really focused on this and get the Every Dollar app out and get the budget going, because it's got a lot of categories that'll remind you of things you might otherwise have forgotten if you were just using a yellow pad to do this.
Yep.
Okay? But also give yourself a little grace. It does take 3 months to get good at it. No one does it the first month perfectly. There's no one that nerdy. If they were that nerdy, they were already doing it.
All right, Kimberly, I want to ask Dave a question, but I'm going to use you as an example. Is that cool?
Sure.
So, Dave, here's a concern I have across the board, and that is you make your first budget or your second budget, and then you've committed to living a debt-free life, and then a $3,000 expense pops up. That's pretty high. So let's say a $600 expense pops up.
Okay.
You're going to have to go into those other categories if you're going to stay committed, and you're going to, we're going to have to figure out how to do groceries for $75 instead of $125.
Yep.
We're going to have to figure out we're going to turn the air conditioner down. We're going to have to, or up. We're going to have to.
Well, you're probably going to go pick up a job.
Or go get a second. But this idea is like, no. We're going to go out to eat once a month. We're just going to overdraft.
Yeah.
What I don't want us to ever lose sight of is if something happens, something happens.
You have to, if the wind changes, you have to adjust the sails.
It's uncomfortable. It stinks. It's not what we planned, but it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's a reality.
No, I shouldn't say if. When the wind changes, adjust your sails. Because there's going to be stuff that's unexpected come at you, and then you go, okay, how are we going to handle this? So, like to John's point, Kimberly, one of the things Sharon and I did that we've had to teach other people to do, but it came natural to us. We were bankrupt. No one would loan us money. So we didn't have an option. We don't borrow money, but we also can't borrow money at that time, right? So we had to figure it out without debt. So we had to figure out, I got to put something, on Craigslist and sell it. I got to go work a side gig, and I need some money by Friday. Oh, my God. And so we had to, anytime something came up that hit us right square in the nose, we had to figure out, increase the income and sell something and decrease some of the categories temporarily till we can get around the corner of this. We didn't have a choice. And so what our encouragement is to take overdraft, which is a form of debt, off the table. Disconnect overdraft, and quit. Never, ever, ever let something come out of your account that causes overdraft ever again. Pretend like you're running a company for someone else, and if you ran it this poorly, they would fire you.
Okay.
And
it just creates a sense of fire and urgency.
Yeah, there's this absolute, absoluteness, that's not a word, to this idea. There's this, you don't have an option. And when you burn the boats and you can't leave, you've got to deal with what's in front of you.
You'll innovate and figure it out.
Exactly. You got to innovate. You got to adjust the sails. So you're better at this than you think you are. And what you're facing, the distress and the frustration, and it was kind of knocking the confidence out of you, like this may not work. I may not be able to do this. You can do it. You can do it. What you're feeling, the emotion you're feeling, and the actual experience you're having is very normal. The trick is don't agree to live in it. Make adjustments so you don't live that way, okay?
Okay.
You can do this.
I'm proud of you.
Now, have you guys been through Financial Peace University?
We have not yet.
You need to go through. I'll give it to you. You got to go through it. Yeah, I'll give it to you, and I'll give you the Every Dollar app with connecting to the budget too, the upgrade, the premium. So you got the whole kit. And if you'll go do this stuff that I teach you, it'll work, Kimberly, 100%. But it never works instantly. We don't sell microwaves. We're in the crock pot business. It takes a minute. You got to cook it, baby. You can do it. You can do it. Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Well, as predicted by the Ramsey team and me and George, the real estate market is beginning to thaw as the snow thaws. And we told you in November after the election that probably what would happen would not be instantaneous, and that gradually the market would begin to heal as springtime came around. So we are seeing in the real estate market an uptick in activity. We are seeing interest rates down very slightly, just a little bit, and no big dramatic anything in the real estate world. There's no sudden supply. There's still a shortage. There's no huge drop in interest rates instantaneous, which didn't expect to have happen. I didn't anyway. So the real estate market is starting to move again. And so the thing we've told you for 30 years is still true, that when it comes to buying a house, a home for your family, real estate's a great investment when bought properly and at the right time in your plan. And what happens at your house, in other words, what happens in your house is more important than what happens in the White House. And so Donald Trump's not going to buy you a house. Joe Biden didn't buy you a house. It's not their job, either one of them. And it's your job to buy a house after you get out of debt, have an emergency fund, and when you can afford the payment on a fourth of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed rate. And that's very doable once you get your crap together. But, there's people worried about tariffs driving construction costs up. There's people thinking that the government's going to get in the housing business and drive supply up, which will bring prices down. Not going to happen. Tariffs aren't going to drive construction costs up, not appreciably, even if there are tariffs, and there aren't any yet. Hello.
Basically, the White House has a lot less effect on the housing market than you think they do.
Well, no, but the effect they do have is, and they are starting to have that effect, is to make people believe again so the economy starts moving. And when people are hopeful, they purchase things, they invest.
They get off the sidelines.
When they are hopeful. And if you believe, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, if you believe the economy is going to get better, you will make moves that make the economy better. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And housing is one of the elements of that. And I do think that's going to happen. And I'm not going to give President Trump the credit for having grown the economy. I'm going to say the American public grew the economy. But it is, if he gave them hope and caused them to do that with, cutting spending, and which they're obviously doing to pretty rapidly and pretty wildly. It's kind of fun to watch. For a guy who likes to cut spending, I mean, I'm in hog heaven, right? So, that's a good thing. And I know it's your grandmother's program or whatever they cut, and some of you are pissed, but I really don't care. Cut spending. And you've been spending more than you make, like some kind of drunken congressman. So that's wonderful. And if that kind of thing gives people hope, and if he puts pressure on the Fed and causes interest rates to go down, that gives you hope and causes you to go into the marketplace, the real estate market's going to take off. So I am predicting a healthy, good, functioning real estate market again by fall. I don't think it's going to be a boom or bust thing like it was after COVID. It was crazy. But I think it's going to get moving again, and it's been very stagnant. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely been crawling, and I think it's going to take longer than we all want it to. And so for those folks who've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for something drastic to happen, quit waiting. If you're ready to buy a house, like you said, don't time the market, time your own financial life and go, now's the right time for us to buy.
This is the time to buy. I'm looking at several pieces of real estate right now. And I'm not doing that because Trump's in office. I was doing it before he was in office, and I will keep looking. But I'm only going to do the deal when the deal is right, and it fits in our parameters and how we do real estate.
That's right. And you're paying cash. And for those folks that they're taking on the mortgage, Dave, and they're going, well, Dave, the rates are so high. What do you say to them about the rates? You
marry the house and you date the rate.
So when it does dip down,
you just refinance. It's not that hard. Just don't buy too much house and don't be crazy. But your interest rate, if interest rates go back down to 3%, and I don't know if they will or not, I never thought they'd be there to start with. So what do I know? But anyway, if they do go down, it's not that big a problem. Just refinance, and you have a little bit of cost, and within 18, 24 months, you'll get your money back, and you'll be rocking along making the better rate then after that. So don't let that keep you out of the market. If you're waiting on rates to come down, that's dumb. Because as soon as they go down, you're going to see some stimulation in house prices. They're going to offset them going up. So, go ahead and get in when you're time. But you need to be out of debt. You need to have an emergency fund in place of 3 to 6 months of expenses, debt-free, and you know, with a good, strong down payment, we'd like to see, if you're not a first-time home buyer, it should be at least 20% down, because you can avoid PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, which is about $75 a month per 100,000 borrowed.
That adds up.
So, I mean, if you borrow like $400,000, that's $300 a month that you're paying for insurance for the mortgage company to insure them in case they foreclose on you. That's what PMI is.
It's a risky buyer fee.
It's a risky buyer fee because you didn't put down 20%. That's a good line, George.
Thank you. I worked hard on that.
Yeah, because, I mean, I've been doing this 30 years. I never came up with that. That's pretty good.
That's a win.
But there we go. And so but if you don't put down 20% and you still buy, we're okay. We're not mad at you. We're just saying you could save a lot of money if you did put down. So a good down payment where your house payment on a 15-year fixed is no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. And your take-home pay is not after insurance and 401k. Your take-home pay is after taxes. What are you taking home after taxes? That's the number we're talking about. So I'm not talking about your check. I'm talking about that's called take-home pay. It's not your check is different than take-home pay. So
you got health insurance premiums and the 401k.
That's not in the mix. Okay. So, but anyway, yeah, because you need to be able to cash flow this thing and get it paid off and move along to the next step of wealth building. But real estate is good. It's not horrible right now. It's not booming, but it's definitely not horrible. It is way better than it was 4 months ago. Way better. I mean, I've got a couple properties on the market that 0 people were looking at. And now people are in there every week and every day looking at them. And so, I mean, I'm actually seeing activity happen, you know, on those properties. And they're not rentals. I mean, those are sales. So it's happening. Real estate is moving again. It's very, very quiet about it because there's all this other stuff in the news. And nobody's talking about real estate much, but we are here because you talk about it at home and you're thinking about, should I buy a house? Should I buy a house? What happened? Is Trump going to end the world? No, he's not going to end the world. And no, he's not going to make your life better by sending you money. It's not going to happen. And I told you that was going to happen. I told you that about Biden. So you guys got to be grown-ups and go for your own destiny.
Yeah. Quit waiting around. Regardless of what's happening in the economy, you can affect it a lot more than anyone else. So we've got a lot of resources too, Dave. Our team built a real estate hub with tons of resources, tools, calculators, articles, even a video course, RamseySolutions.com/real estate.
Hi, my name's John Scully. My friends call me Scully. This is my wife, Maddie. We're from San Antonio, Texas. Coming together as a family, a big blended family, it was a lot of stress. Like most people, we married because of chemistry, not because we kind of vetted each other and decided we're functional people. But she was 37 and I was 38, I think. I had 3 kids from a prior marriage.
And I had 2.
And she had 2. She'd been a single mom for 9 years or so, and always really struggled with money. And my assumption is she's struggling because it's single mom, 2 kids.
I'd also been in domestic violence situations where they controlled all of the money. So I had that I didn't want to let him know about my money or anything about it because I didn't want him to take control of it.
We met together at some, was this incredible energy to do whatever it takes to get out of debt. We sold everything that wasn't nailed down in our home. What you can accomplish when both of you are kind of pulling in the same direction with your finances is it's powerful. For us, it's a complete paradigm shift from what's going on in American culture, right? People want instant gratification. We've completely flipped that based on, these principles. And, that first 15 months or so, we paid off almost $110,000 in debt. August 18th, we paid off the house this past summer. We've gone to Nashville and we're pacing the floor that morning, ready to go do our debt-free scream. We've been investing ever since we paid off all the consumer debt and the land that we had. It's not even mathematically possible. We had grown our investments by nearly $860,000 net worth is in the neighborhood of $1.3 million as we stood up to do our debt-free scream.
And that's the house and
Yeah.
investments and retirement accounts. That's it. Okay, so you want to get a divorce. So wait 9 weeks. Go to this class. Sit down and dream about what if we didn't have any debt? What if we could live? What if we could do whatever we wanted to do? Dream about that and then make a commitment for 9 more weeks. Let's just go to this class. And if it doesn't work, okay, it doesn't work. Probably will. But when you can come home and have a conversation with your spouse about finances when you never could before, and it's not an argument, and it's not scary anymore, and it's bringing you closer together.
There's a lot of folks that have really good incomes and they're just disorganized. When you can work together and kind of harness the power of these principles, you can turn your life around in a short period of time.
And those days when you're struggling and when you're tired of paying off debt and you don't want to do it anymore, okay, so what we used to do is we go to this restaurant, Maggiano's. You buy one meal, you get one free. So we'd put those in the freezer. So we'd have a romantic meal. I'd light a candle, we'd reheat the Italian food, put it on nice plates, and then we'd move the table and we'd dance in the kitchen and just reconnect. Remember why you're doing it. And then, okay, I can do this for 5 years, or I can do this for however long it's going to take, because then once you're finished, your life is just, that weight is lifted off your shoulders and you're free. You're really free. Individually, my turning point was when I went to see Dave, and I think as a couple, our turning point was when we came out of that attorney's office, and we met at the stairs, and we just knew we got something here, and we don't want to let it go.
God had a different plan for us, and here we are today, debt-free.
And millionaires.
We started out, all this chemistry came together in this marriage and really walked away from God and, as a family, and we got ourselves in a gigantic pile of debt. We nearly lost everything, another broken marriage for both of us and a child that, wouldn't have both parents. So in 5 years, we looked back and we'd paid off over $300,000 in debt and now a net worth of almost 1.3 million.
And a happy, solid marriage.
And saved the marriage, which was really the goal.
All the rest was extra.
Right, a bonus.
Yes.
Bonus from God.
Emily is with us in Greensboro, North Carolina. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show, Emily.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
So my husband and I are newlyweds. We've been married for about 4 months. And we are on baby step number 2, but we're having a little bit of marital conflict over it, and I was wondering if you could help us out.
Okay.
So I took FPU about 1.5 years ago. The company that I was working for offered it online for free.
Mm-hmm.
My husband has not gone through it, but has been on board with everything that I've been saying that we should do. And so the conflict is over this. We have about $5,000 in savings. He does not feel comfortable with the $1,000 emergency fund.
Good.
Where I would rather go ahead and, write $4,000 of it into a check, towards our student loan debt.
Right. How much debt do you have, not counting your mortgage?
About $35,000.
And what is your household income?
About $72,000.
Okay. And so if we throw $4,000 at the 35, we've got 31. How long would it take you to pay that off, making 72?
Maybe.
This is why you're not comfortable. You don't have a plan. You guys have not talked this through. This is what's going on. You're talking in general, vague concepts, and you have not ever laid it out. And what you need to do is lay it out, because I don't, $1,000 is not supposed to make you comfortable. It's actually supposed to make you very uncomfortable. So you get up off your butt and get the dadgum debt paid off as fast as possible. That's the concept. And that's what he's missing. But he's also thinking we may be in debt forever. You know why? Because neither one of you have ever done the math as to when you're going to get out of debt and the price you're going to pay to get there.
Yeah, I have an app for it, but supposedly, if we're on our Snowball method right now, we'll be out in 5 years.
Oh, no.
But that's not making anything extra. And
You don't go with a $1,000 emergency fund for 5 years, and it does not take 5 years to pay off $31,000, making $71,000. The couple that was just on paid off $144,000 in 30 months. They make they make $100. They make $100. Yeah, you guys are being wusses. I mean, you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and punch this. And you should be done in a year.
Really?
Yeah. But you have no life during that year. You remember that part?
Yeah.
No vacations. No. But he's right. If you're thinking 5 years, it'd be ludicrous to try to have a $1,000 emergency fund for 5 years. Of course that makes him uncomfortable, because that would be smart to be uncomfortable. But to be slightly uncomfortable and a little bit scared for a year while we're busting it and we got our ears laid back and we're not on vacation and we're not seeing the inside of a restaurant unless we're working there, and any pizza that's made at our house is homemade. I mean, we are doing this thing. The only way we get pizza is deliver some, man. I mean, you are doing it. You're selling so much stuff the kids think they're next. That gets you out of debt in a year. Yeah, I'll put you on $1,000 for a year, but not for 5 years. This is why you all are having a problem, because you've not worked this through and you haven't seen that it's a reasonable process if you are unreasonable in your approach. Is that logical?
No, I understand. I think I just need to, I don't even know if you have this or not, do you have anything where you can put those numbers in and see, if I make X amount payment every month, this is how soon I'll get out of this debt, with interest rates and all of that?
Yeah, the interest rate really doesn't matter much. I mean, it's $31,000. That's $30,000. That's $2,500 a month for a year. If it's $2,000 a month, it's going to be 14 months. It's just big math. Take 31 and divide it by the months. And because the interest rate's very irrelevant at this stage, because you're not keeping interest rate's only relevant when you've got a 5 or a 10-year or longer window. When you got a 12-month window, interest just doesn't enter into it much. It's a little bit of the fact. But, I mean, it doesn't, it may throw your numbers off slightly, but if you'll just do big numbers like that, big chunks, but see, what that does is that challenges you all to look at your budget as a couple and say, what have we got to do to get that intense?
Right.
What have we
got?
We're
on a written budget. We're on every dollar.
Yeah, but you're not on intense.
No, we're not.
5 years. I am. 5 years is not intense. No, nobody is. Anybody that says 5 years for $31,000, intense doesn't enter into the equation. No, 5 months, yeah. 12 months, 15 months, whatever. Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, you haven't cranked it back yet, but you don't have him on board. You can't crank it back like that unless your spouse is on board. People are not going to. You've got to sacrifice. But the only reason he would be on board is if he sees the same thing. Here's the thing.
Right.
What will it feel like when we're out of debt? What will we be able to accomplish with our family goals when we're out of debt? We will be able to do this. We'll be able to do that. We'll be able to give. We'll be able to travel. We'll be able to change our family tree. This is why we're doing it. Now, once we've both agreed that it's very important because the why is so big, why we're getting out of debt is so big, once we've got the importance underscored and highlighted, then we come back and go, okay, how hard can we bust it? How much can we sacrifice? How deeply can we cut into our life so that we get our life back? I don't want to do this for long. I'm a rip the Band-Aid off guy. I don't want to peel it off one hair at a time. It'll kill you, Right. And so I want to do it fast as I possibly can. Live like no one else. So later you can live and give like no one else. And that's what the two of you have got to get on the same page on. Then you start talking about stuff like whether baby step 1 is correct or not. It is only, but it is only correct in the context of the level of intensity that I'm talking about. You see, so in other words, I'm saying if you came to me and you said 5 years to get out of debt, and that's how long it's going to take you, and and my husband feels uncomfortable with having $1,000 in the bank for the next 5 years, I would have to agree with him.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. But that's not what we teach you to do. So hold on, I'll have Laura send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover. And what I would challenge you to do is the two of you to go through that book together. You and him go through it together. And when you walk through it together and you say, okay, this is how everybody's doing it. This is how 6 million people have bought that book. 4.5 million people have been through Financial Peace University. This is how these people have done this. And so this is not freaking theory. People do, go online, look at the Debt-Free Screams, listen to their stories, and talk about, go to the YouTube channel and watch some of those Debt-Free Screams. You'll see what people are doing. And when you see what other people are doing, you're going, okay, yeah, we can do this. Because that guy on the YouTube, he doesn't look that smart. I think we're smarter than him. I think we can do this. I mean, you can do it. You can do it. But you can't play with it and do it. You can wander into debt. You can't wander out. It's going to take too long.
Hey guys, Rachel Cruz here. Hope you enjoyed that video from the Dave Ramsey Show. If you want to watch another great video, check out my video, 3 Things You Should Consider Renting, right over here, or click the link in the description below.
Amanda is with us in Minneapolis. Hi, Amanda. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Good. So my husband and I are working on the baby steps right now, but he co-signed for a mortgage with his mother before we were married, and so I'm just conflicted. Yeah, I'm conflicted. I'm not sure. Do we add that on there? Right now, it was almost foreclosed upon, and then she filed for bankruptcy, so right now it's protected because she's in bankruptcy, but I just don't know what to do there.
So she's in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy?
Yes.
Paying payments? How long has she been in that?
I think only about a year now. Okay. Almost a year.
Okay. And so, of course, you quit, your husband quit getting any information about the loan once it went into bankruptcy, correct?
Correct, yeah.
They're not,
so I had to call to get that information.
Yeah, they're not allowed to contact him as a co-signer if she is in bankruptcy. They can't contact her either. They have to do everything through the courts, okay? So they can't just passively let you know. You have to proactively check in. And even then you may find, And even then you may find that they are going to block you a little bit because they're scared of the court telling them not to bother a creditor, a debtor.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, so how much does she owe on this house? Does he owe on this house?
$220 principal balance.
What does Mom make a year?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's got to be over 50. He's making 50.
Yeah, so she doesn't make the money to be able to pay for this house, does she?
No.
That's what got her in trouble, didn't it?
Yep.
So when is your husband going to talk to his mom about selling the house that she can't afford?
We've had that conversation, and ever since then, she's just decided that she doesn't want to talk to us about it anymore. So we aren't really in good standing with her. Mm-hmm. She believes that she deserves the house, and she's gonna go down with it if it goes away. So. Do
you know what kind of loan it is? FHA, VA, or conventional?
I do not know.
I would find that out. Okay.
Okay.
I hope to God it's an FHA, because here's what's going to happen with the information you've given me. She's going to default on the bankruptcy because she's not going to pay the payment. She couldn't pay the house payment outside of bankruptcy. Inside of bankruptcy, you have to pay the full payment plus something on the back payments in order to keep the bankruptcy active. She's not going to do that. 78% of Chapter 13s fail nationwide. So there's an 8 out of 10 probability she's going to fail. Plus, we know what her situation is. It's higher than that. She's going to fail. Okay?
Okay.
So let's anticipate that. Let's not be shocked that she didn't fail. Plus, she couldn't pay the payment to start with. So she's struggling already. It's a sad situation. Okay, now, when she fails, they're going to kick her out of bankruptcy, and then the foreclosure is going to begin again. If it is an FHA loan, when they foreclose, they do not chase the borrowers for deficit balance. So the only thing that will happen to your husband's credit is it will have a foreclosure on it, but they will not chase you to owe them another $10,000, $20,000, $15,000. He's going to have a foreclosure on his record.
Okay.
There's not anything he can do to stop it, except sue his mother. And he really can't even effectively do that as long as she's in bankruptcy. So, she's not going to budge. He's not going to make her budge. She's going to go down. And he's going to get foreclosed on. So hopefully it's an FHA loan, and I would go ahead and call the lender and find that out. And then just not worry about it anymore. I wouldn't pay a dime on it. I wouldn't think about it again. It's going to go down. Y'all don't need, she's not going to deed the property over to you, which would be the only other way you could handle it. You could sell it to avoid a foreclosure, right? But I assume it's got as much owed on it as it's worth, probably, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they only owned the house for, I don't know, maybe 7 months before they were behind on payment. So.
Yeah, and how long has she been in the Chapter 13?
Less than a year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my prediction is she won't make it another year. That's my prediction. And I'm sorry, I wish I wasn't right, but I'm right. So if he could take that, if she would give him the house back or she would agree to sell it, they could sell it to avoid this foreclosure. But I'm not writing a check for a dime into this thing if I'm you guys. Not a dime.
Okay.
It's just going to go down, and she's just going to have to find her a place to live, and it was a bad deal. Everybody that did this deal was stupid. The mortgage company, your husband, and his mother. It was just a dumb thing to do all the way around. So it's sad. I'm so sorry you guys are facing this. Now, your worst case scenario is it's not an FHA, that it is a VA or a conventional. I'm almost positive. Are either one of them veterans?
No.
It's not a VA then. Okay, so it's probably either an FHA or a Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae may come after him for the difference. And so if they sell the house for $200,000 after foreclosure and they owed $225,000, they're going to come knocking on your door wanting $25,000. You can settle that for 10-20 cents on the dollar at the time if it comes up after a year or two after the foreclosure. But I'm not worrying about any of that today.
Okay.
I would keep my finger on the pulse of it just to know what's going on, but I'm not fretting. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not going to cost you any cash for 3 to 5 years at the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, it's not going to cost you any cash at all. But in no case is your husband going to get out unscathed. His credit is dinged every time she pays a payment late.
Yeah.
And his credit is dinged again when he gets foreclosed on because he's a co-signer. This is why we tell people to never co-sign in these situations like this. This is heartbreaking. So you guys go live your budget, work your baby steps, get yourself out of debt, get yourself in good position just to protect your family. And maybe somewhere down the road you've got some extra wealth and maybe you want to help mom in some regard if she behaves, but probably not.
Okay. All right.
Is that okay?
We'll keep working those baby steps, yeah.
Yeah, just keep working them on your side. Don't spend a lot of emotional or spiritual energy fretting about this or being angry at her. Your husband signed up for it too.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, she's obviously being an obstinate jerk, but there's just no sense. And I'd spend all my time and energy if I were you on your family and on changing your family tree so this never happens again. Kathy is in Orlando to start off this segment. Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I was hoping you could help give me some sound financial advice during difficult marital times. Do you have any? Is it any different than regular marital times? Like if you're having difficulties, like say your husband has a girlfriend.
Yeah, that'd be pretty difficult. So is this marriage going to end?
It depends on him.
Really? You're pretty forgiving.
I'm really struggling. Well, he says they're just friends.
Yeah, when did you discover this?
Actually, he told me about it. He's like, I'm just going, the first encounter or visit with the ex-girlfriend, it's actually his ex-girlfriend from 25 years ago. He reconnected with her.
Facebook.
And no, not even. No, just... I don't know if he's going through a midlife crisis. I don't know what's going on.
You need to see a counselor, darling. Your brain's jumbled up.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess.
Yeah, mine would be.
We're just friends.
Mine would be. Oh, no. There's a murder getting ready to be committed here.
Well, yeah.
You've got to. Yeah. You need to get some guidance because you're trying to be sweet and you're trying to believe it, and yet your brain in your heart, but your brain is telling you this guy's cheating on you.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think
bottom line.
Sleepovers are a cool thing. I've said this, and he continued again just this month.
Okay.
He said, nothing's happening.
Oh, yeah. Darling, you are sweet. You're so naive. Okay. No, adults don't do sleepovers with people they're not married to of the opposite sex, okay? That is not normal. That's whacked! That's whacked!
That's what I said.
Okay.
That's exactly what I said.
You need to go see a counselor, and you need to go see a divorce attorney, and then you need to decide which one you're going to use. But Bubba needs... game is up with Bubba here. He's played that as yeah. So, darling, the way you prepare financially, and I'm so sorry you're going through this, is hold on. I'm going to talk to you when I come back. This is the Dave Ramsey Show, talking with Kathy in Orlando, and I had to get up off the floor to give her a proper answer. Her husband has reconnected with his old girlfriend from 26 years ago. He's doing sleepovers with the old girlfriend, says nothing's going on, and she's trying to figure out how to prepare in a bad marriage situation financially. Is that a fair summary of what you told me, darling?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been married?
18 years.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, let me just from an outside perspective tell you what the 12 million people listening to me right now are all thinking, okay? Normal people that are married do not have sleepovers with the opposite sex ever in any circumstances that they are not married to. Okay? That's just not acceptable social behavior. It's nuts. Okay?
I've even said that. I was like, this isn't right.
I know. This is nuts. And the fact that he would try to play it off on that says that he has a level of BS in his life that is unbelievable. Okay? So he's off the ranch, kiddo, is what I'm saying. And I'm trying to be kind to you because you're hurting and you're sad, and I don't blame you. But you need to have the thing that's rising up inside of your throat validated, because you have to have that unless you have absolutely no self-esteem at all. You have to be going, this is nuts. So you need somebody outside to say, this is nuts. This is nuts. I just said it, okay? I want you to hear that really loud and clear. If I suggested to Sharon Ramsey that I was going to sleep over with someone of the opposite sex, I would not have the equipment to do so by the time I left the house, okay? You follow me? That's how that works in the normal world, all right? And so it just, unbelievable. So are you in a church at all?
No, I'm not.
All right. Do you have access to someone that can recommend to you a good, solid marriage counselor that can walk you through the tough decisions and conversations that you're about to have? You need to get someone to get someone in your corner that way, okay?
I have a call out. He has refused to go with me, so I have a call right now.
Of course, because he thinks
he doesn't want to be ganged up on.
Yeah, he's got this thing. Yeah, he doesn't want to get... Well, let me just tell you, 12 million people just ganged up on him, all right? They're all listening to me. They're all going, he's nuts, all right? He just got ganged up on too late, and he deserves it because he's completely out of line. Listen, if you want to divorce your wife and then go sleep around, we can discuss that. I don't like that. That's a bad idea. But this con this guy's trying to run on you is just, it's ludicrous. It really says he thinks you're stupid, is really what it is. I mean, anybody that would believe this is stupid, and he thinks that about you. So you need to get a good counselor. Then the second thing you've got to get today, you've got to get with a counselor, and you've got to get with a good divorce attorney. I'm not saying you 100% are going to go through a divorce. That'll be your decision. But you need to have the information to know what it looks like, because information in the middle of high-stress scenarios, which you're in, helps you have power to make good decisions.
It's ugly, Dave. I've called a lawyer, and in the state I live in, it's 50-50 no matter what.
Yeah.
Adultery doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
So
That's right.
all the hard work, I'm the one who does the budget. I'm the one who's done all the planning.
Yep. That's the way it is in most states now. Okay. And so that part's ugly, but it's uglier to stay in an untenable situation. And I'm not suggesting it's over, but it probably is, statistically speaking. I mean, if you turn this around, you've beat the odds, so to speak, right? So you go get some counselors to guide you through it. Now, what the attorney has taught you then is this. I've got a friend that does divorce recovery work all the time, and she has a wonderful saying. It's not a wonderful saying, it's an accurate saying. Divorce turns a marriage into a business transaction. And so it's now down to who gets what and when, and access to kids or whatever. You got children?
No kids.
Okay, that part's a little cleaner. But it's just a matter of divvying up the stuff, and it becomes a business negotiation that is laced in anger and broken hearts and visceral emotions. But it's still a business negotiation at the end of the day. And so here's the interesting thing, and I will throw this in. If this is the track he decides to go on, and if it ends your marriage, he's going to want out quickly. And if I were negotiating on your side, I would make that cost him. He's going to give up some stuff in order for you to make this quick. I would drag it out and make it painful for a while. Just because I'm that kind of guy. So, I mean, I'm serious. Because it sounds like the way you described that a minute ago, there's some assets involved that are pretty serious.
Well, not like we don't have any debt, which is a huge thing.
That's good.
And our house is paid off.
That's good.
And we're both putting.
Yeah. In other words, the court says you get 50%, but you can negotiate more than that in a settlement in Florida.
But the divorce lawyer, I need to find a better lawyer, because she was really cruel about it, and like, you'll just go, because I put him through school, and of course, or the last part of it anyway, the last year.
Yeah, what you want when you've got a divorce lawyer is you want someone that's kind of mean that you don't even really like them. Because this is a war.
I want them to be nicer to me, yeah.
It's a war. It's a war. We're going to war. If you go that way, and I kind of think you're going to. I'm not telling you that's what you have to do, but I am telling you nobody is believing this BS line of his, okay? And so you need to get with a counselor that keeps you in between the ditches and reminds you that you are sane and he is not with this portion of the discussion. And then you need an attorney over here that's giving you advice on how to handle the money transactions and how to begin to negotiate the separation and when to throw him out and so on. And, all of that. But your counselor will lead you through a series of, if they're a strong counselor, a series of discussions that says, okay, we can continue to be married, but these are the rules if we're going to continue to be married. And if he doesn't want to go along with those rules, then we're not going to be married. And you have to set out some ultimatums for your sanity. Otherwise, you're the crazy one, and you're not.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm the one who's like, this is normal. I'm like, well,
no, this is not normal. This is not normal.
It's never happened in 17 years. I guess
it's not. It's just not normal. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It's just not normal. Normal people don't do this crap. Okay, I mean, there's all kinds of weird stuff out there that's perverted and all that. Right. But I'm talking about normal people that are they just and either you're gonna call something crazy that's crazy, or you are crazy. There's really no in between. And so you have to kind of keep somebody in your corner while you're in these high-stress scenarios that give you information on the legal side and give you information on the emotional, psychological, and spiritual side to guide you through this so that you can so you make solid, good decisions that you don't regret later, that you weren't too harsh, but you were tough, and you weren't angry and bitter, but you allowed yourself to feel the emotions that are real, okay?
Okay.
And you just gotta have somebody walk with you, honey, and that's the thing. And I'm so sorry you're going through this, but I just want to validate some of those things that you're thinking are absolutely true. The reason I brought up Facebook is there's this ridiculous statistic that something like 20 to 30% of divorces have a Facebook contact to an old flame involved, and so there's this tremendous thing. And she said this one wasn't, but there's this tremendous problem out there of people looking up the old flame. Oh, I wonder what she looks like now. Most of the time you look her up and you're going, whoo, I did good. Or you look him up and you went, oh, really, son, back up from the table. This is what happens most of the time when you look up an old flame, right? Or they look me up and they go, oh, where'd all his hair go? Oh! So, but sometimes they reconnect. And we've had more than one set of friends lose their marriage to the reconnect to the old flame thing. And bad deal. No, I'm not calling Facebook the devil, but the devil lives there. Like he lives everywhere. So, what a sad situation. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
You can do this. You know, that really is the message. Whether you've got $270,000 in student loan debt or $27,000, whether you've got a $50,000 income or a $500,000 income. Brought to you by Xander Insurance. Identity theft protection isn't a luxury in today's world. It's a necessity. Get yours at Xander.com.
Well, this weekend I received some devastating news that my husband was scammed out of almost his entire 401k.
Ooh.
And so now it's tax time. And we're going to have to pay taxes on it. So we have no more retirement, and our savings is going to be wiped out. And I don't know where to begin from here.
How did he get scammed? What did he put it in?
It was a crypto.
Crypto.
It was yes.
How much?
And $270,000.
$270,000.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
And there's a little bit of a backstory. I'm not making excuses for him, but there's a little bit of a backstory as to why he felt financially strapped, that he felt he needed to do this to secure our financial future.
How old are you?
I'm 57. He's 58. We have no debt. We paid off our home in February of 2022.
What's your household income? These days, it's not if your identity gets stolen, it's when. So you need ID theft protection from Xander. They monitor your personal info proactively and alert you of any suspicious activity, including home title fraud. Then Xander takes care of everything, including up to $2 million of stolen funds protection and white glove service to help you get your life back. Plus, kids are covered for free on their family plan. Call 800-356-4282 or go to Xander.com. What's your household income?
Right now he makes approximately $98,000 annually, and I'm currently not working. I had to quit my job in January of 2023 because I was diagnosed with cancer, and the medication that I'm on just causes me a lot of side effects that we chose it's better for me to stay home because we could afford it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we have no debt again, and he was looking into securing our future so that he may be able to retire early. He started doing some research as to how to invest money. He knows nothing about it. He's not educated in that. So
yeah, your voice is fairly muffled. Speak directly into your phone, please.
Okay.
There you go.
He's not okay. He's not.
No, he's obviously, even if he is educated, he's not wise.
Mm-hmm. And he got desperate. No. It sounded like
he did, and
right after I get desperate, I usually get stupid.
That's what it was, and so that happened in January 2024. In about March or April, he came up to me and told me that that he had invested a little bit of money, and I was like, okay. And he says, and he showed me that he showed me the app, and he showed me that the money was, we had made about $300,000 or $400,000. And I said, okay, well, how much did you invest? And he told me, at that time, he said $30,000. I said, where did you get the money from? Because I take care of all the banking. And he said that he pulled it out of the 401k. And I said, okay, dumb mistake. We'll get through this. I found a temporary job. I made enough money to cover the taxes. I calculated we'd probably owe about $6,000 taxes. I said, okay, great. Well, I'll take care of it, and I'll get a permanent job so it won't affect our savings. And now that it's tax time, I kept looking for the form that comes in, the 1099-R, I believe, and he kept making excuses as to why we hadn't received it. So I kind of had a feeling that it was worse than what I knew, and that it was worse than what he had told me. And this weekend, he gave me the paper, and it was $270,000. So now we will have to.
And now it's worth zero, of course.
Yes. Well, I looked at it last night, and there was about $16,000 in it right now. But
was it really a scam, or did he just lose? Like, did he get scammed by a scammer, or he invested the money and he lost the investment?
No, it wasn't an actual scammer. I had demanded that I back when he told me it was $30,000, I demanded to know where he sent it, how he sent it. I wanted to know everything, and apparently it was a company in Hong Kong. And I looked up the address, and it's in the slums of Hong Kong. I'm like, why didn't you do the research before? Well, the thing is now, he said that it was the 200. I'm like, how can you go from 30,000 to 270,000? And he said it was about the same time. He invested here, in a couple of different.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Does he now own that this is stupid, or is he still defending?
No, he owns it. He's been living with this for the past year, and he was lying about it 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, you said he just came clean with it.
Yeah, he just came clean with it, but he was living with that lie for the. But
I mean, he's now saying out loud, "I completely screwed this up."
Yes, he has.
That's important because otherwise he's going to do it again.
Right, and he's like, I'm prepared to work till I'm 70. I mean,
yeah, he might as well.
Good job right now, and
there's not a choice at this point.
Belly up, buddy.
How's your health? Are you improving?
It's getting there. I'm on a clinical trial.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping that this will be something that will, give me more time, and I feel pretty good, except just the usual side effects. I mean, not the usual, but the side effects of the medication. But thank you. I'm happy to, every day is a good day, and I'm not going to let this bring me down. But it does scare me for our future.
Well, the good news is you have no payments. And so what he needs to do is max out his 401k, and you'll need to max out your Roth IRAs. And you need to tell him that if he makes any transactions without the two of you being in agreement ever again, that will be the last time he'll do so as your husband.
Absolutely.
He needs to understand that this has extreme consequences. Because he not only did something stupid, he lied about it at length. Deceived, created a web, a full scenario of lies. That concerns me actually more than his stupidity.
Correct.
And so, that's a big deal. So, yeah, you guys can catch up. I mean, you can make 100, 120, and you can max out your 401ks and Roths, max out your Roths and work another 10 years, 12 years, and you will have enough of a nest egg to retire on if you don't do this again. But as soon as he gets desperate and tries to pull off a fast one, that's when you get messed over. And so, ouch, I'm so sorry, honey, tough. With everything you're facing. It's just not fair. Wow. All right, guys, let me give you a couple principles on that. There's a guy who scammed a bunch of people and wrote a book from jail in the 70s. The book he wrote about himself was Con Man or Saint. Obviously, he thought he was a saint, but he was in jail, so he was a con man. Okay, but I read that book in the early 80s and as a teenager, early 20s. And the only thing I really got out of the book was he said it's almost impossible to con someone unless they are afraid or greedy. This guy was afraid. His wife had cancer. He's trying to get a bunch of money so that he can not have to work and take care of her.
Yeah.
And he got desperate based on fear, And he said that set him up in the emotional category to be conned. The other crypto people that get conned are the greedy ones. They're trying to make double your money in 20 minutes because I'm the cool kid and I'm the smart one, and I grew up with a cell phone in my hand, a smartphone in my hand, so I know everything about digital. No, you don't. You're a greedy fool, and you're going to lose your butt in crypto also. The second thing you can do is, who can find a virtuous wife, for her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, and he will have no lack of gain. If you have to hide the investment or the financial move from your spouse, warning, 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 you're screwing up. I have no lack of gain because Sharon and I talk about it before we do it, and it keeps me on the rails. The best ID theft protection is from Xandr. They not only monitor, they help you get your life back. Go to Xandr.com to learn more. Brought to you by Xandr Insurance. Identity theft protection isn't a luxury in today's world. It's a necessity. Get yours at Xandr.com.
Well, this weekend I received some devastating news that my husband was scammed out of almost his entire 401k.
Ooh.
And so now it's tax time. And we're going to have to pay taxes on it. So we have no more retirement, and our savings is going to be wiped out. And I don't know where to begin from here.
How did he get scammed? What did he put it in?
It was a crypto.
Crypto.
It was yes.
How much?
And $270,000.
$270,000.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
And there's a little bit of a backstory. I'm not making excuses for him, but there's a little bit of a backstory as to why he felt financially strapped, that he felt he needed to do this to secure our financial future.
How old are you?
I'm 57. He's 58. We have no debt. We paid off our home in February of 2022.
What's your household income? These days, it's not if your identity gets stolen, it's when. So you need ID theft protection from Xandr. They monitor your personal info proactively and alert you of any suspicious activity, including home title fraud. Then Xandr takes care of everything, including up to $2 million of stolen funds protection and white glove service to help you get your life back. Plus, kids are covered for free on their family plan. Call 800-356-4282 or go to Xandr.com. What's your household income?
Right now he makes approximately $98,000 annually, and I'm currently not working. I had to quit my job in January of 2023 because I was diagnosed with cancer, and the medication that I'm on just causes me a lot of side effects that we chose it's better for me to stay home because we could afford it. Obviously, we have no debt again, and he was looking into securing our future so that he may be able to retire early. He started doing some research as to how to invest money. He knows nothing about it. He's not educated in that. So
yeah, your voice is fairly muffled. Speak directly into your phone, please.
Okay.
There you go.
He's not okay. He's not.
No, he's obviously, even if he is educated, he's not wise.
And he got desperate. No. It sounded like
he did, and
right after I get desperate, I usually get stupid.
That's what it was, and so that happened in January 2024. In about March or April, he came up to me and told me that he invested a little bit of money, and I was like, okay. And he says, and he showed me that he showed me the app, and he showed me that the money was, we had made about $300,000-400,000. And I said, okay, well, how much did you invest? And he told me, at that time, he said $30,000. I said, where did you get the money from? Because I take care of all the banking. And he said that he pulled it out of the 401k. And I said, okay, dumb mistake. You know, we'll get through this. I found a temporary job. I made enough money to cover the taxes. I calculated we probably owe about $6,000 taxes. I said, okay, great. Well, I'll take care of it, and I'll get a permanent job so it won't affect our savings. And now that it's tax time, I kept looking for the form that comes in, the 1099-R, I believe, and he kept making excuses as to why we hadn't received it. So I kind of had a feeling that it was worse than what I knew, and that it was worse than what he had told me. And this weekend, he gave me the paper, and it was $270,000. So now we will have to. And now it's worth zero, of course. Yes. Well, I looked at it last night, and there was about $16,000 in it right now. But
was it really a scam, or did he just lose? Like, did he get scammed by a scammer, or he invested the money and he lost the investment?
No, it wasn't an actual scammer. I had demanded that I back when he told me it was $30,000, I demanded to know where he sent it, how he sent it. I wanted to know everything, and apparently it was a company in Hong Kong. And I looked up the address, and it's in the slums of Hong Kong. I'm like, why didn't you do the research before? Well, the thing is now, he said that it was the 200. I'm like, how can he go from 30,000 to 270,000? And he said it was about the same time. He invested here, in a couple of different.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Does he now own that this is stupid, or is he still defending?
No, he owns it. He's been living with this for the past year, and
he was lying about it 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, you said he just came clean with it.
Yeah, he just came clean with it, but he was living with that lie for the.
But I mean, he's now saying out loud, "I completely screwed this up."
Yes, he has.
That's important because otherwise he's going to do it again.
Right, and he's like, I'm prepared to work till I'm 70. I mean,
yeah, he might as well.
Good job right now, and
there's not a choice at this point.
Belly up, buddy.
How's your health? Are you improving?
It's getting there. I'm on a clinical trial.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping that this will be something that will, give me more time, and I feel pretty good, except just the usual side effects. I mean, not the usual, but the side effects of the medication. But thank you. I'm happy to, every day is a good day, and I'm not going to let this bring me down. But it does scare me for our future.
Well, the good news is you have no payments. And so what he needs to do is max out his 401k, and you'll need to max out your Roth IRAs. And you need to tell him that if he makes any transactions without the two of you being in agreement ever again, that will be the last time he'll do so as your husband.
Absolutely.
He needs to understand that this has extreme consequences. Because he not only did something stupid, he lied about it at length. Deceived, created a web, a full scenario of lies. That concerns me actually more than his stupidity.
Correct.
And so, that's a big deal. So, yeah, you guys can catch up. I mean, you can make 100, 120, and you can max out your 401ks and Roths, max out your Roths and work another 10 years, 12 years, and you will have enough of a nest egg to retire on if you don't do this again. But as soon as he gets desperate and tries to pull off a fast one, that's when you get messed over. And so, ouch, I'm so sorry, honey, tough. With everything you're facing. It's just not fair. Wow. All right, guys, let me give you a couple principles on that. There's a guy who scammed a bunch of people and wrote a book from jail in the 70s. The book he wrote about himself was Con Man or Saint. Obviously, he thought he was a saint, but he was in jail, so he was a con man. Okay, but I read that book in the early 80s and as a teenager, early 20s. And the only thing I really got out of the book was he said it's almost impossible to con someone unless they are afraid or greedy. This guy was afraid. His wife had cancer. He's trying to get a bunch of money so that he can not have to work and take care of her.
Yeah.
And he got desperate based on fear, and he said that set him up in the emotional category to be conned. The other crypto people that get conned are the greedy ones. They're trying to make double your money in 20 minutes because I'm the cool kid and I'm the smart one, and I grew up with a cell phone in my hand, a smartphone in my hand, so I know everything about digital. No, you don't. You're a greedy fool, and you're going to lose your butt in crypto also. The second thing you can do is, who can find a virtuous wife, for her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, and he will have no lack of gain. If you have to hide the investment or the financial move from your spouse, warning, 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 you're screwing up. I have no lack of gain because Sharon and I talk about it before we do it, and it keeps me on the rails. The best ID theft protection is from Xander. They not only monitor, they help you get your life back. Go to Xander.com to learn more. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Megan kicks us off in Kansas City. Megan, welcome to the show. Megan, are you with us? Hey.
Yeah. There she is.
What's going on?
So my husband spends on average about $1,000 a month at gas stations for snacks, drinks. A majority of that though is for chewing tobacco.
Oh.
And my question is, how can I help him work towards becoming more financially responsible, so that we're not worrying how we're going to make it till the end of the month with bills and other priorities.
How long has this been going on for?
It's been going on for a few years. It has gotten worse, though, within the last year or so.
Is he using more chewing tobacco? What do you think the problem is there?
Definitely more chewing tobacco. He goes through maybe 2 to 3 cans a day. And that can be pretty pricey, and it hurts us financially, as you could probably imagine.
I assume you've had conversations with him about this. How do those go?
Yes, they don't go very well. It usually starts an argument. He has tried to quit multiple times through the last several years. We've done medical. We've spoken to doctors. He's been put on prescriptions. He's tried the patches, everything. He's tried quitting cold turkey, and just nothing has worked. And especially since we now have a family, I really thought that would help out in getting him to quit, but it hasn't.
So why did the patches not work? If it's giving him the same, unless the patches can't possibly give what 3 cans a day is giving him.
Yeah. I think it's just, it all boils down to, deep down, he really doesn't want to quit.
No, he likes it.
Yeah. And I just can't really find anything that gives him that push to
Do you know if
make that change.
Is it relaxing to him? What is the benefit? Is it a buzz that chills him out? What's going on?
He does have ADD, so I think it just chills him out. But also, it's become such a habit, and I think it's just that buzz maybe.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder if there's not something else below the surface, because what doctors are trying to treat, they can't treat. Feels like this is something in his soul, in his heart. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. Is that true?
No, I agree with you.
What does he do for work?
I agree. He is an HVAC technician.
Yeah.
Does he like his job?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yeah. This is deeper than this. This is deeper. So here's the deal. We got to get that part figured out, or any financial advice or any conversational or communication advice we give you is largely going to fall on deaf ears, because he's defensive now. However, I do think there's a money piece to it, but I think it has to be whatever's going on that is requiring you to medicate yourself this way is going to break us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the depth of this. And so we've got to get to that, and then the financial piece will take care of itself because he doesn't have to medicate.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So in the meantime, since we can't solve that, George, I want to know what George thinks. I think this is so I'm going to come back to this in a second. I want to come back to the conversation of what she might say, but I want to bring in the financial. In this case, giving her advice, this is such a sensitive issue that's got a lot of depth to it. Could she get him on board with, all right, you got to go get a side hustle to the tune of $1,000 a month to cover this medication? I think that's a fair ask. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I mean, with addiction, it's not as simple as saying, "Hey, we're gonna cut him off."
Yeah.
And so I still think, I'm not a medical professional. I think cold turkey is the way to go, and I think it starts with this conversation of you going, "Listen, this is going to deteriorate your health. I want you around to see our kids grow up. I want us to actually hit our financial goals. It's derailing us financially for you to be spending this way." And by the way, gas stations are one of the worst places to buy all of this stuff. It's the highest cost. And so if he's going to do this, he's got to be smarter about it than just impulsively stopping by the gas station every 4 hours. And so he's got to find a way to curb the spending, even if it's, hey, we're cutting back. No more food, snacks, drinks, all of this stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the key. You have to say, babe, I'm worried about this.
And you're going to have to get more involved in the finances. Do you guys have combined bank accounts?
No, and because of that reason, yeah, and I know that's something I've struggled with. I've taken control somewhat of his bank account just so that I can monitor his spending, and every month it's the same thing when we sit down and have that talk. Like, hey, you're spending way too much, and it's just, yeah,
Is this on a credit card, a debit card?
Debit.
Okay. And so he's got the money, but it's his income, and he's just spending down his account every month doing this.
Yes, and we've even tried with having him send me like a certain percentage of his paychecks that I would then put into savings, or it would go towards bills for that month.
I think you need to tell him, listen, I didn't sign up to be married to a child that I have to monitor and babysit. You need to care about this family more than you care about your chewing tobacco habit. And I need you to show me that.
Conversation, yeah.
And if you guys need to go to counseling to deal with the marital issues beneath this, I think if you don't, it's going to cause more resentment, and this marriage isn't going to survive this.
George is right.
Because this is going to just compound every month for the next, another 3 years of this?
Well, you're not going to solve it. You can't solve it. He has to understand how afraid you are, how exhausted you are.
And how it's affecting you guys.
How it's affecting your marriage, and what that's going to have an impact on the rest of his life. And then he's going to have to get to the bottom of what's going on with him, which is causing the medication of the tobacco. And then you guys have to fix what's already been in some ways bruised and broken with you two. All of that has to happen, or this spending isn't going to stop.
Yeah, even if we go, hey, tell him to get it in bulk at Walmart. Well, that might be a Band-Aid that might save us $200 a month, but it doesn't solve the real problem here.
No, I agree.
I'm sorry you're going through this, Megan. I
He's
wish we had a magic answer for you.
I think it's a come to Jesus meeting. I really do.
Yes, I agree.
And I know addiction is one of the most difficult things a person can deal with, and I encourage him to call Dr. John Deloney's show to walk through that piece of it. And if he's willing to call, if he's really serious about this, we can get him on the line with our friend Dr. John to help him work through that. But that's the only answer to this money problem, is him overcoming this addiction.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Lynn is with us in Canada. Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I'm part of a blended family, and I've been married for 1 year, and I've been together for almost 3 years. My husband wants a paper divorce to get financial aid for his kids.
You've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding me.
No.
That's absolutely absurd. No, I'm not divorcing my wife so I can get welfare.
Well, the thing is...
You're really going to argue with me about this, aren't you?
Well, I don't want the kids to be disadvantaged because of my assets, but
they're not disadvantaged because of your assets. They're disadvantaged, but we're not going to give them welfare. Oh, well.
Like, I don't believe in out-of-state education. I believe, like, if it's a grad school, professional, like medical, dental law or something, yeah, maybe I'll fund that. I'll give them a loan, but
no,
I just want
we're not going to get them. They don't need to be in debt. They don't need to be in debt to their stepmother either. This is also a bad plan. Yeah. So if you feel so inclined to pay for your stepchildren's education after 1 year of marriage, that would be a gift, and it would be unusual. Okay.
So what would that gift should be?
It'd be a gift if you did it.
I know.
I mean, if you give them $1, if you give them $100,000, it would be a gift. What is your asset base?
It's about 3.2.
Okay. And what is his? He's broke. $200,000. And he wants to do a paper divorce so his kids qualify for welfare education.
Well, he makes about $100,000.
He ought to be ashamed of himself. I mean, he makes like $200 a year?
No, he makes $100.
He's got $200. He makes $100 a year. What do you make?
Yeah, I make about $400, $350 Canadian.
And how many children are involved?
4.
And how old are they?
17, 15, 13, 11.
And
the 2 young ones are mine.
Okay. And did they think that he married a gravy train? Are they ungrateful and entitled?
I don't know what they think.
Okay. Oh, so you've not had conversations with them?
I feel I would help them out as much as I would help my own, but I don't believe in out-of-state education.
Right.
I believe in
Right. I agree.
Responsibilities.
My children went to in-state school, and all 3 of them are successful.
And so did I.
Yeah.
And, my parents helped out some, but it's not just a full
So here's the deal. If you want to help, it is your money. You have the right to set the terms.
But I feel that because of my asset, they couldn't get their loan if that was what they
I don't want them to get a loan.
If they want to commit financial suicide.
That's their problem.
Yes, but because of my assets, they can't. They won't qualify.
Oh, darn. So you being married to him is preventing them in Canada from getting a loan?
No, it's actually we just live across the border from each other, so we're just like 2 hours away. And because of Canadian taxes, and because of the businesses I own, he was supposed to move up to Canada, but due to some medical problems of his daughter, he isn't. And so we really haven't even lived together as a married couple.
Yeah. Okay.
But on paper,
do you know how strange this is starting to sound?
It is, and it's been really hard.
Yeah. Be very careful, darling. You've not been married but a year. You've not even combined your households yet, and you're already up with your sweetheart for paying for these kids' education. I'm not.
Like, I'm fine contributing some.
Yeah, some, but very little. Listen, I only contribute when they do stuff the way I say do it, because I have their best interest in heart, not because I'm a control freak. But I don't fund people's stupidity. I don't participate in their insanity. And you shouldn't either. That's not an act of love. That is an act of enabling. And you are in a wicked, weird situation. You need to be very careful, because there's a reasonable probability that you have a mess on your hands. I mean, wow. Scary, scary, scary.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Andrea is with us in Tampa, Florida. Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm great. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my husband and I went through FPU about 2 years ago, and we are on baby step 6, and we're having a little disagreement over something he wants to purchase. So we figured you'd be the tiebreaker.
I'll get my striped shirt and whistle out. I'll be the referee.
Awesome. Thank you. So our household income is about $120 from our regular, jobs that we do. He just started a side business, which is basically doing online marketing. And right now he's making about $4,300 a month with it. So
wow.
It's
Profit?
doing really well.
Profit?
Yeah, his expenses are very minimal, so it's probably at least $3,500 a month in profit.
Wow,
yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's doing well, but it's still a really new business. He's only been doing it for about 2 months, and he has right now 3 clients, and he's hoping to get a few more. But he's very excited about this and wants to purchase a fairly expensive $1,500 piece of exercise equipment. Out of the business, and I'm just nervous because it's still a new business, and I'd rather we kind of just save up and plan for it the way we do with everything else in our normal household budget. But just wanted to get your thoughts.
Okay. Well, he's not really buying it for the business or out of the business. It's out of your household income, which now has an extra $8,000 in it from 2 months of work.
Correct.
Okay. So let's just pretend he was at work and he got a bonus for $8,000. Maybe it was a one-time bonus. Okay. Just for the fun of it. That's like your worst-case scenario, meaning he's already made $8,000 on the online business, 2 months of $4,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so if he never made another dime, it would be like he got a nice bonus at work, $8,000 check. And out of that check, he wanted to buy a $1,500 piece of equipment. Would that be bad?
I don't know. I guess I would just rather. I'm just excited about paying off the house.
Okay, now that's a fair argument. Okay, all right. Because I mean, so you get a bonus in, and we say, "Do we want to?" We can change how the money came in, but we got some extra money, is what it amounts to. And you want to throw it at the house, and he wants to buy this piece of equipment.
Yes.
Okay. And how much is the balance on your home?
Right now we owe about $150.
Okay. All right. And have you guys not done anything else to enjoy some money since you busted through baby step 3?
We have. We've taken some nice vacations, and we always set money aside for travel. So we definitely have. Yes.
Good. I'm glad you did. That's because what we teach, as you know, and it sounds like you're living that properly, is to have gazelle intensity, which is scorched earth, no life at all till you get through baby step 3. And then when you get through baby step 3, you let your foot off the gas a little bit, and you concentrate, but you buy some things and enjoy some things while continuing to pay extra on the house, which is what you did when you went on the trip, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's also what this exercise equipment is.
I suppose it is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's if you want to move up in car, it'd be the same argument. If you wanted to, you were driving a $5,000 car and you want to move to a $8,000 car and you want to, move up, spend the extra $3,000 on that or something like that, that'd be the same discussion. Is that's going to eat up, just like the trip ate up some of the money that could have gone towards the house. But the point is, that's the letting off of the accelerator, backing off from full-on gazelle intensity to, enjoying and doing some other stuff. You might even increase some giving during that time and all those kinds of things. So the point is to be concentrating on the house, but not to the exclusion of all other things. So really, the truth is, what this argument comes down to is this is not a joint purchase that both of you want. It's something he just wants.
Basically, yes.
Yeah, that's the argument. It's not that it's the wrong place. It's not that it's the wrong place in the baby steps or that it's really against the house. It's just he wants it and you don't care about it one way or the other.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like we should maybe just, it feels like an impulse a little bit. Like maybe we should have saved up for, $500 a month or something, because I don't know. I just feel like it's a little impulsive, and it's
well, you got
so
a
much
bonus.
money.
You got an $8,000 bonus, and you can say, we want to do some giving or whatever. What you could do to that's a fair argument too. That's a fair part of the equation. Sometimes when Sharon and I are talking about it, she's like, I don't know. Kind of feels like you just got the fever. Let's wait a month and see if you still want it. After a month, if you still want it, we'll do it.
Okay.
And see if the fever goes away. That would change it from an impulse to a solid purchase. What kind of exercise equipment is it?
It's one of these Peloton spin bikes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And is he
So
taking spin class
found
now?
a used one. Yes.
Okay. How long has he been
And
taking
he's found
spin
a
class?
Used one.
How long has he been taking spin class?
A couple of years.
Okay. So him being on a bike is not an impulse.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yeah.
I've never taken spin class, so me buying one might be I'm more of a runner, and that kind of thing. So me being on one might be more of an impulse because it's not like it's something he's never done. Is my point.
That's correct. Yes.
So in
That's
that
a good
sense,
point.
that's an argument for him. So I might shop around, try to figure out where we can pick one up used at one of the sports consignment stores or Craigslist or something like that. Is there a place to find one, a really nice one but slightly used that somebody's using to hang their clothes on instead of actually ride and that kind of stuff? And, let's take a month and see if he cools off on it. If after a month we find a bargain and or he still wants it, I'd probably do it. He wins.
Okay. Well, thanks, Dave. He's going to be really happy to hear that.
But do you see kind of how I got there?
I do. It
Okay.
makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing in here about you guys being irresponsible. The reason I walked all the way through that is it's good. It's a good exercise all for our listeners too to just think through at that baby step where you're trying to pay on the house. Okay, when do we not pay on the house, and when do we pay on the house? Because if all you do is buy stuff, you'll never pay on the house, and that's your point. But I don't think you guys are out of control. The fact that you're having this discussion is proof that you are in control. So that's pretty cool. I think you're going to get the house paid off pretty quick, by the way. And I think it's going to be due to his business exploding, because I got a feeling this $40,000 is going to turn into $80,000. And that's probably going to pay the house off. So I think we're okay. That's the other part that's rattling around in the back of my head here. But that's a cool discussion. It really is. It's a good thing to talk about. PJ on Twitter says, is there a balance between gazelle intensity and what the Bible says, the dangers of gaining wealth hastily? Well, PJ, gazelle intensity doesn't have anything to do with gaining wealth. Gazelle intensity has to do with getting out of debt, which is from the Scriptures. And it's Proverbs 6:1-7. If you've signed surety, my son, do this. Give no sleep to your eyelids, no slumber to your eyes, and deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, a bird from the hand of the fowler. That's Proverbs 6:1-7. Now, what's that mean? If you've signed surety, is Old English Bible talk for gotten yourself into debt. How you get out of debt? You deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter. You run like a cheetah is chasing you, trying to kill you. That's gazelle intensity. You run for your freaking life. And that's to get out of debt. That is not a danger of gaining wealth hastily, because we're not trying to gain wealth. We're trying to get away from the dadgum master, because we're a slave. The borrower is slave to the lender, which frees us up to build wealth as a steady, plodding thing. Because, there is gaining wealth hastily. There's all kinds of warnings about that in Scripture. And not only your spirit, but also just the general process that you end up building a house of cards, which is what I did. It's how I went broke. I gained wealth hastily in my 20s and borrowed too dadgum much money, and it caved in on my head because I was stupid. And that's what it comes down to. But they're different things. And so the gazelle intensity does run up through baby step 3, through the emergency fund. And after that, let your foot off the gas. Now you start your wealth building. Now we start paying off the house. And we start upgrading the couch, and getting the spin bike, and so forth. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Brought to you by YRefi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
All right. Today's question comes from Melody in Virginia. She says, my husband and I are in our early 40s and got married last year. While we were dating, my husband bought a house for us. I participated in the whole process and he paid the down payment and the mortgage until we got married. We have joint accounts. All that we make goes there and we treat all income as ours. We worked together to pay off the debt we brought into the marriage. My husband recently became very ill and agreed to do some estate planning. I asked him to add me to the house, deed, and mortgage, but he wants to just stipulate in his will that the house will be mine if something happens to him. I don't care about the house itself, but while I made sure to put him as a beneficiary for everything that is mine, he has friends and family as beneficiaries for what is his. Am I wrong in feeling off about this whole situation?
Yeah.
I would definitely feel off about this. The truth is, okay, so let's talk about the will thing first, because if you were like, hey, I'm not on the deed and there's no will, that would really be a problem, just looking at it as that. Because I'd say, well, especially since you guys bought this thing before you were married, it could go to probate depending on what state you're in.
Yeah.
And it would take time for it to really iron out and go to you. The other thought is, but there is a will. Then my next thought is like, have you seen the will? Because I want to see it with my eyeballs on it for real.
Yeah.
So, because if not, depending on what your state is, again, there could be an issue there. Then there's the relational side of what's going on here. Like, why doesn't he want that? And I also want to know, well, why are your friends and family on the other assets? Like, what is it? What could it be? A 401k? Anything else? A savings account? Anything else that would have a beneficiary?
That would be in his name exclusively that she couldn't be on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what stands out to me, and I'm going to read a lot into this, but this is just what stands out to me. You're in your 40s. You've only been married for a year. It sounds like there's something previous that's playing into this. Like, maybe there was a previous spouse or a previous relationship and he has trust issues. Something is going on there. I find that when people are later in life in those relationships, there tends to be more walls up.
Yeah, more bad experiences that happen with life. And because of that, people get protective and they want to protect themselves, which in one case is totally understandable. But also, as it plays out in the health of the marriage, it ends up being more detrimental than beneficial. And that's where you guys have to like really get on the same page. So yeah, unless to your point that he promised his brother that he would help pay for the brother's kids' college. I don't know. It's like there's something there that makes sense to you, but for you not even to understand why, that's a bigger problem to me. You need to know that. Jade, I was stopped by somebody recently out and about, and she was very kind, but she was like, can I just ask you a quick question? I was like, sure. But she was saying that her and her husband are working their way out of debt. She has, I think like maybe, I can't remember the exact word, maybe $20,000 left in her name because they're her student loans.
Okay.
And they were going to go and refinance the house. Well, if they put her name on the deed in the refinance, then they're not going to get as good of a rate because of her credit score and everything. Yeah. And so she was like, we want to refinance, but should we hold off till we're debt free, or could we go ahead and refinance and my name not be on the deed, but I could put it on the dead after I'm, get out of debt. Anyways, it was this whole situation. And I told her, I was like, I mean, yes, you want your name on the deed eventually. And if it's not, it needs to be in the will, like what you're saying. But I think the ownership aspect of both being on the deed is important, but also in a short term, if it doesn't make financial sense, save the money and then put your name later if your name is in the will for it. You know what I mean?
That can make sense. Yeah.
Just in case something happens to him. Because the whole point, again, of sharing assets, yes, is from a tactical standpoint. So we want to be smart about that. But it's also from an ownership perspective and a unity perspective.
And depending on the state, I don't want to get this wrong, but depending on the state, let's say that the house was bought, it was bought pre-marriage, it was bought in his name. Technically, let's say that he passed away and there was debt that she didn't know about it. That house, depending on the state, could be treated as an asset and they could sell the house to pay the debt.
That's right.
So this is important. You know what I mean? It's important, A, to know your state law. B, it's important to make sure that these assets are protected because it's probably the thing that they have that's their biggest asset that has the ability to generate the most money for her if she were to sell it. So this is an important issue.
YRefi refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey.